Kevin Radomski, Oilers Kings Director of Business Ops, joined the show. What song should I enter with?
Oh, hey, by the way, you're on program 4.
Oh, don't start the stream yet.
Shout out YouTube.
It's too late.
You started it?
Yes.
Oh, let me take.
Hey, if you're listening on YouTube, if you're on YouTube, shout out to you guys for tuning in early. Hit that like button.
The Jason Gregor Show. On Sports 1440.
That's right. And it's the right fielder diving right out. What is it? Here comes the winning run. Andrew Bogan does it. South Carolina shocks South Dakota, and they win it 7-6.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
And here's a 262, so going to reverse splits. From field, back goes Fernando at the wall. Looks the pitch. Fernando. In the air, makes the catch at the wall.
After 2 o'clock, good afternoon. Thank you for tuning into the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, streaming on Oilers Nation YouTube, Facebook, and X. Make sure you hit that like button if you are watching there. If you're listening on the radio or iHeartRadio, any sort of streaming service, obviously you can't do that, but we do appreciate you tuning in to the show today. Connor Halley sitting in for Jason Gregor. He'll be back in a couple weeks, taking a little time off. We've also got Declan Kruger along for the ride, Josh Fenwick, and we'll be joined by Wanye Gretz from Oilers Nation momentarily. We do have a loaded show for you, of course. But first, the Jason Gregor Show brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Tonight, the Daily Grand. You can win $1,000 a day for the next 20 years. That's a total of $7.3 million. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. Also, if you make a deposit, put in code word Gregor50. Get a free $50 bet. Maybe you want to go over some Major League Baseball today. CFL action kicking off tonight. Maybe you want to do NFL preseason over the weekend. WNBA. Tons of things you can do. Check it out, playalberta.ca. Use your GameSense, GameSenseAB.ca. On the show today, as I mentioned, a bit of a loaded one coming up here. We'll be joined by Zach Lang from Oilers Nation. Lots going on, of course. Zach, pretty well-rounded. Can talk hockey. We'll talk some Toronto Blue Jays as well. Shane Bieber going to get into the lineup for the Bluebirds tomorrow. Some CFL and maybe a little NFL as well. What does he think about the Chicago Bears upcoming season? David Owens will be by from Sherbrooke Liquor. It is Thirsty Thursday. I will say, as someone who's, drinking less and less the older I get, I've enjoyed these Thirsty Thursday segments. Some nice samples, things to look forward to. And, for those people that are maybe like me, bringing in some non-alcoholic options, never a bad thing. So we'll be doing that at 2:40. Like I said, Wanye Gretz will be by, so he'll get involved as well. We got Matt Taylor, the voice of the Indianapolis Colts, joining us at 3:20 on the show today to talk about the whole quarterback controversy. Maybe not one. I mean, we probably had a thought that maybe Daniel Jones could be the guy when they signed him. But if you're Anthony Richardson, you're still just 23 years old. It's going to be really interesting to see how they handle that going forward. We can talk a little bit of Colston Loveland, the exciting rookie. And then the team also obviously has Jonathan Taylor, one of the top backs last year. And you can look at yards per carry. It wasn't one of the best, but still finished third in the league in rushing. We'll see how the Colts look this season and what they hope will be a bounce back year and trying to figure out that quarterback position. Also, Colin Livingston for the Cantor Racing Report. We'll hear from Mark Spector. Take a look at everything around the sporting world. Spec's pretty well versed. We'll see actually also if he had his Wayfair cabinet built and finished. And he was working on that yesterday. And then Kevin Radomski, Oil Kings Director of Business Operations, going to swing by. Oil Kings getting underway with their training camp next week, I believe. And then the season's going to be here in no time. They've got a lot of fun promo nights. Wrestling again. We were there last year for the wrestling. It was a game sponsored by Sports 1440. It was a whole lot of fun. And then we also got the teddy bear toss. So lots to talk about here on the show today. Of course, you can always reach us at the UL inbox, 1-833-401-1440. Score with your power plate partners at UL. Get all your electrical needs at ul.ca with 24/7 ordering and shipping in Edmonton and across our great province, UL. Declan Kruger on the other side of the glass, one might say, but there's no glass here anymore. Declan, how are you doing today?
Well, pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, man. Loaded question. Don't have much of an answer for you, but I'm doing pretty well.
I do have a question for you because
Okay.
yesterday on the show, you did play the Friends theme song, which was a hit before Friends used it. Today,
Is that true?
oh, yeah,
Okay,
man. I'll
all
tell
right.
you, I used to listen to that on the radio all the time. Absolute hit.
No, for real.
Then it went to Friends. Yeah.
Okay.
It was kind of around the time I want to say when like Savage Garden had a big hit too.
Sure.
Not Truly Madly Deeply, but their first one. And then you play Ghostbusters, which obviously banger, but also coincides with the movie Ghostbusters.
Right.
When you think of like TV movie theme songs, what is your favorite TV theme song?
Oh man, well, it's not really a theme song, as more as it is just kind of a but the Breaking Bad theme song, like dun,
Yeah.
dun. I can't do it, but that would be the one. Also, Stranger Things theme song. Really struggling here early today. That would be high on my list as well. And yeah, probably those two. Oh, and The Wire, because each season was a different iteration of the same song.
Yeah, okay. I like that. HBO has good theme songs
Yeah,
for
they
their
do.
TV shows. White Lotus.
Oh, that's a great call.
Season 1 was like, oh, this is pretty catchy. Then season 2, when like the beat drops, all of a sudden it's just a rave in your house on Sunday night.
Yeah.
And Tiesto did a remix. And then season 3, I was like, okay, maybe I don't love this one quite as much. That's okay. It is what it is. We've got Wanye Gretz rolling into the studio here as well from Oilers Nation. Wanye, how you doing?
Right on time. Nobody worry.
I'm not worried.
2:06 is when the show starts, isn't it?
Yeah, typically, if the long intro goes and low tide doesn't go to break at time or Declan's update goes long, you were here the whole time. What are you talking about?
I was having a 1440 meeting, so technically I was working. I just wasn't here.
I just assumed you were here because nobody could tell otherwise.
Well, there you go.
You didn't have to expose yourself like that.
Well, I don't want to lie to the boys on the air.
Now, this wasn't really a question I had in my mind prior to the show, and we're going to talk lots of sports, don't you worry. But with the Ghostbusters theme song, and then Declan played the Friends theme song,
So good.
I did that, but nobody heard it because we were off air when I clapped it. What is your favorite TV show theme song?
I was just trying to think. I think it's the Full House theme. I'm thinking in my
This
head.
day and age, something.
Yeah. That song, I can remember like TGIF as a kid growing up. I
the
was
best.
huge into it. And the Full House theme song like kicked off Friday night. And I always thought it was a really good track.
Step by Step,
Step by step, great.
Boy Meets World. I think that good. And that show when they got older, it got a little more serious. Corey and Topanga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't they bring it back?
Yeah.
It's
Girl
still
Meets
going?
World with their child. I don't think so. It couldn't have.
But they were in it though.
Yeah. I think they were the parents. I think.
I could see that working.
Yeah.
The ones that don't work are the reboots that have none of the original cast.
Yeah.
Right?
It's just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like and they tried to do that 80s show. The 90s show, sorry. It was the 90s show. I think Red and Kitty were in it. And probably some cameos. Donna.
Didn't somebody text us yesterday that they were in love with Topanga?
Absolutely.
Topanga, I
MTR.
feel like really MTR.
Montana the Rice. That was his name.
That's who texted in?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I'm like, that's Topanga's real name. It didn't make
MTR.
any sense. A lot of people our age were in love with Topanga more than a normal kid show. Kids fall in love with kids on kid shows all the time, right? Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
All these little kids get the posters on the walls. But Topanga, for some reason, there's like a certain type of person that's like, no, you don't understand. I loved Topanga. And you're like, okay, no, I get it. It was no, you don't understand. I loved her.
People loved her.
They loved
Her.
Topanga.
You said Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. That was Ashley Tisdale.
Yeah.
Brenda Song.
Yeah.
Brenda Song. Now married to Macaulay Culkin. Unbelievable.
What a turn of events.
Zoe from Zoe 101 was kind of the OG baddie for me.
Is that who-
personally.
yeah?
Yeah.
Pink Ranger from
All blonde and all
Power
that.
Rangers.
Saved by the Bell. I was fairly in love with Kelly Kapowski for a good 2 or 3 seasons.
I think that's a very popular one. as
She
well.
was and remains
Yeah.
a siren on the rocks, like a mermaid.
Saved by the Bell theme song. Another classic.
Very good.
That's a good one.
90210.
I think I just missed it. I don't want to say I was too young, but I think I was too young.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I used to watch it, talk to people on the bus about it, because that's all the little kids in my school talked about was 90210. And Party of
that makes
Five.
sense. Party.
You ever watch Party of Five?
No, wasn't there one about Malibu something?
Malibu Shores?
I don't know. Maybe
there was a show at Malibu Shores, I believe, with Tori Spelling's brother, who was in 90210, if I'm remembering my 90s obscure television correctly.
Well, I loved your pick for Full House. Family Matters theme song was an absolute classic as well. People texting in here. We got I didn't ask the question, but
you did.
It's a good question.
Sure.
Raccoons from Ryan.
Oh,
Sopranos. Oh yeah, that intro. Tony just rolling through town.
yeah.
Game of Thrones from Bird. It was Phil who had Sopranos. Robert's his Mary Tyler Moore intro song. We've got the Flintstones.
Flintstones is
From
great.
Dennis. Team Dean says the Cheers theme song. Yeah.
You know what? The Ninja Turtles theme song. You want to talk about a banger?
I don't want to sing it, but I get it. You know, Melrose Place. There you go. Field texting in. Not Malibu. Melrose.
I think Malibu Shores is a real thing. Let me look it up.
Look it up. The one of my favorite shows is Sons of Anarchy, but that was an intro I skipped all the time.
Really?
Yeah, I did not love that one. Then they went to Ireland for a bit and they made an Irish twist on it. Once was enough.
An Irish twist on it? Like a second series?
No. So without going too deep into the story, they go to Ireland for 5 episodes, and then the intro to the theme song, they make it an Irish theme song.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. So when that stopped, it was good, but I still skipped it. Dukes of Hazzard, Rockford Files. Oh, Unsolved Mysteries is a good eerie one. The Greatest American Hero or Airwolf were classics from Biff and the Park.
Airwolf was a classic.
Littlest Hobo or Family Guy from John of St. Albert. Another one for Sopranos from Gary. Airwolf. Someone just says, I don't know what that is. What about Knight Rider? Didn't that have a pretty cool theme song too? It was just like a
Knight Rider's so sick.
Roger says, how old are you people? I'm 38. So I could be young to you, Roger, or old. I'm not sure.
I would just like to shout out myself because Malibu Shores, I just looked it up on IMDb, was a 10-episode show in 1996 starring Randy Spelling, brother of Tori.
So I was definitely referring to Melrose Place, but I could have tried to play it off cooler. Yeah, me and you know. Real ones, no.
No one's mentioned Malibu Shores in 1996. It came out. Since 1997, no one's mentioned that show.
No.
But it's all in here, Connor.
Some people were fans.
It wasn't very popular.
I believe it.
But they were trying to launch it off 90210, which was red hot at the time. And I was like, okay, if this is what Aaron Spelling wants us to watch.
Maybe this might have to be the theme for Declan, a challenge. TV show theme songs for the rest of the show. It won't be easy.
Oh, to play his bumper music.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about all that.
I think you could do it.
Knight Rider. If you could find Knight Rider, that would be a heck of an intro.
Inspector Gadget from Sean.
Huge.
Still hums it. Tour of Duty. Some Schwackhammer says Stones Painted Black. Great song. Hockey Night in Canada theme song. Absolutely.
Oh,
John.
huge.
Who's the Boss theme song from DDR.
That was a bit before my time.
Yeah, I don't think I know it. I know the show. But
Tony Danza.
I don't know the theme song.
Yeah.
Apparently MacGyver was an Airwolf from Big D.
MacGyver was an Airwolf.
Yeah, maybe the actor. Or spinoff. At this point, I don't know. And I'm not confident enough to tell you.
I remember one time playing with the neighborhood kids, and I was smaller than a lot of them, and I demanded that I be put inside a laundry basket so I could play Airwolf, which in my mind was pushing buttons, which were the little sides of the laundry basket. And then my dad came in. Oh, it's a helicopter show.
Okay.
And they came out of a volcano, Connor. The tip of the mountain would open.
Was it a cartoon?
No, live action. And these 2 helicopters would come out of the volcano and go whoop ass.
Sweet.
It was unreal.
Sounds like a video game.
The theme was energizing.
Big into the Sonic Underground theme song from Josh the Professional. Country Kurt agrees with me. Knight Rider all the way. Jefferson's from Vaughn, Daisy, and Dykes. Dukes of Hazzard and Daisy. and The Littlest Hobo. And I was thinking Melrose Place. Yes, there you go. Facts of Life from Kevin. No name on this one, but says Fresh Prince. Hard to argue with that.
Oh yeah, that's a classic.
I mean, 5:30 on CBC after The Simpsons.
Totally.
Like, get called up for dinner. Like, no, I gotta watch The Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
What's
Fresh
Will
Prince.
getting up to?
What hijinks is Carlton up to today?
What's Carlton and Hillary?
Hillary and Ashley.
You talk about the initial crushes.
Hillary?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, she was
Scott.
out of my league. I knew it even as a child, but I still appreciated from afar.
Miami Vice from Scotty. Yeah, we have that one in the system. I play that all the time when we go down to Florida. So good hit right there. Sesame Street, NBC, NBA on NBC from Paul.
Is that the John Tesh Round Rock? Is that the song?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great track.
Have you seen the SNL skit when they try to put words to it? And they're like, no, let's just keep the words out of it.
Oh, really?
The words are basketball. We got a lot of good ones. Burglar, you're getting so close to talking sports. Keep going. Yeah, we can talk a little bit of sports. I mean, it is the dead of summer, but there are some sports things going on in the world. If
The
we're gonna
Dodgers
get
are
pushed
winning
towards it.
5-1 over the Rockies. Do you want to do a contest? How long we could talk about this nonsense for?
Well, how about get my little notepad here. Aphrodite Dang, 15 years old from Alberta. She's from Calgary. She, after one round of the CPKW Women's Open, she's dash 5. Tied for the leaderboard at a shot of 66. She also won the U.S. Juniors. Not too shabby.
Are you sure Calgary's part of Alberta?
You know what? She might be from Airdrie.
I think they claim to be part of Alberta, but I don't know. That's unbelievable. How old is she?
15 years old.
Unbelievable.
So super young, one round, obviously lots to go, but very encouraging sign
for
right
her.
there. You also got the Tour Championship. Jamie Thomas, 7 under par. Colin Morikawa, Patrick Cantley, as my computer goes crazy. Robert McIntyre, Russell Henley, all dash 6, and Canadian Nick Taylor, -3. And I think Corey Connors, even. So some Canadians doing some things right now in the golf world. So you got that. We got the CFL kicking off tonight, week 13.
I believe it is.
Can you call me on that?
Yeah, I think so.
Week 13. Of course, the Elks in action tomorrow, taking on the Red Blacks, 5:30 kickoff. We'll talk some CFL on this show today with Spec later on. And some Major League Baseball as well. As the Jays off tomorrow, but off today, back in action tomorrow. Tonight, you got Winnipeg and Montreal. I suppose in this one, you probably want Montreal to win. They're at home. Maybe gives you a chance to make that push to catch up to Winnipeg. You're only 2 games back, so crazier things have happened. NHL news, nothing too crazy. There's a contract handed out. I don't know if you saw that from the Chicago Blackhawks. Nazar, it's a 7-year deal, $46 million. He's only played 56 career games.
For whom?
Frank Nazar.
Defenseman?
Or is it Nazar? It's spelled like Lazar with an N.
Is he defense?
Because
Because sometimes they like to lock up these young defensemen before anyone knows what they got in their hands.
Well, he's a center, just 21.
Well,
So, you get the theory behind it, lock them up, expecting that they're going to have a big, burst onto the scene. For him, 7 years, that takes him until when he's 28. So he'll still have another chance to cash in if his career trajectory continues.
and what's his AAV?
5.59.
I think he's cashing in.
Yeah. But it kicks in the 2026-27 season. So that actually will take him till he's like 29. Interesting move there.
I had a sports topic. Mr. Texting in wanting to hear sports. Did you hear that they put Tiger Woods on like a board for the PGA to shape the game going forward?
No, I did not.
And then they're like trying to figure out a way to fend off Live and evolve the game. And I was reading this article and they almost mentioned it as a footnote. It's like Tiger was given a seat on the board with no term limit because it's expected he'll never play golf again professionally.
Really?
And it was like buried in an article about a development board at the PGA. Like if that is truly how Tiger Woods' retirement is announced, that's the most anticlimactic end to a climactic career of all time.
How would you want him to go out?
On top with the Masters trophy held above his head with Charlie teeing off on 1 to start his career?
That's probably not happening.
Well, that last Masters that he won. Remember?
That was years ago.
But that was still, he was already very injured and out of the game. And he caught old Tiger's essence for a week and won that last major.
Has he had surgery since then?
Well, then he got in that car crash.
The second one.
Remember when he was driving to the tournament and it was early in the morning and
But
the road
didn't he
curved?
win after that? He had like compound fractures in both his legs, I thought. I thought he won after that.
A tournament or a major? I thought that came after the major. We'll look it up.
We need to be more Tiger Woods historians.
But Tiger Woods, if his career is over, I would have hoped that there would have been a chance to give a big ovation on some 18th green, everyone knowing this is the chance to say goodbye to Tiger one last roar.
I think he's going to come back, though.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Just to play. Kind of like, when Jack got a little older, and it's like he's not going to win, but...
Do you think Charlie Woods is going to have a big career? They say he's unreal.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably not as good as Tiger, but pretty good. I mean, what do I know? I don't know nothing about golf prospects. I can't act like I do.
I've watched some of his swing. It looks like dad.
Yeah. Powerful.
What a coach to have in your corner. Who better to coach Charlie Woods than Tiger Woods, for heaven's sakes?
Yeah. Just try to keep a low profile.
Who?
Charlie.
Oh, they play like every year in that father-son pro.
But I mean, like, that was his undoing, right?
Tiger?
Yeah. Off-field stuff. I guess the violent swing hurt his back. He needed surgeries, things of that sort. But
remember, he was doing all that Navy SEAL training too, right? So he was training with active Navy SEALs and doing the same exercises they were doing and jumping out of planes, and that they think fractured his shins. And he was
here's
doing
the thing: you don't need to do that.
Wow, this is the craziness of being Tiger Woods. He was still missing Earl, his dad's approval, and so he'd won everything in the world of sports. So then he started doing Navy SEAL training, and they're like, "Dude, you're shredding your body."
Yeah.
The injuries he sustained that ended his golf career did not come from golfing.
But his back, like his swing, wasn't that like noted as one of the most violent swings in golf? Like he was doing some damage there. Then the other injuries were tough too. The fact that he's walking after that car accident is pretty damn impressive.
Do you think, and this is just wild speculation, but it counts as talking about sports, Mr. Texter, man. Do you think he would ever get a fake leg if his leg continued to deteriorate? Like, do you think Tiger Woods comes back to golf on an artificial limb?
No.
Because have you ever seen the photos of like his ankle?
No.
Oh man, he's walking around like on a Captain Hook pirate peg leg, basically.
We'll check it out at the break.
Whew.
Jumping Jack Flash, guys, you got to include in TV theme songs: Hill Street Blues, Greatest American Hero, and Rockford Files.
Rockford Files.
Theme song from He Shoots, He Scores, Greatest American Hero, or Cheers from PJ. I mean, here's the thing. It's August 21st. We're going to talk baseball and football. We'll do those things. But a topic like this gets the people going. And it was so organic. It wasn't even planned. Look, no notes on it. You can see my notes. There's nothing there.
If you talk about something and the chat on YouTube lights up and the text line lights up, it's valid topic of conversation, I think.
Quickly, John of St. Albert, we know Cody Fajardo is starting quarterback tomorrow for the Elks. Do you think they can win in Ottawa? Yes, I can. We'll dive into that a little bit more later on in the show, but yes, I do think that
3 wins in a row.
I think so.
How close are they to a playoff spot if they win again?
Well, I mean, they're 2 games back on Winnipeg right now
for the crossover.
More for the crossover.
More.
I think you'd still have to keep winning. I don't have the standings open in front of me.
Let's go Elks.
I'm such a 1 game at a time guy, Wanye. Really? Handle the business in front of you, you know?
Not me. I like to put the cart before the horse.
You got to see what's going on with that.
Down the road.
Yeah, so BC's still 2 games up on them. Elks have a game in hand. So they need to win a lot more. Because BC would have the crossover over Edmonton right now. But Edmonton's got a bunch of games against the West. So, hey, they can move up in this one. Probably not going to catch Saskatchewan, who's 8-1. But maybe a chance to move up a few more spots. If Montreal were to win, hey, that would be good tonight for the Edmonton Elks.
Probably won't catch Saskatchewan.
Yeah, probably not.
I would wager you on it if you were so inclined.
I would love to.
Are you on the Saskatchewan side or the Elks side?
Saskatchewan.
Oh, no. Then.
Yeah, I thought we were going to wager Oodle Noodle or something.
Thought you had me, didn't you?
I thought I had you. Let's do it.
No.
We'll take a break. When we come back, Zach Lane going to join us from Oilers Nation. We'll talk some Oilers, of course. Look at the majors, maybe a little CFL as well. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, Facebook, YouTube, and X. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
This is Nuge's Nuggets, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. What nugget of cooling advice does Nuge have today?
An air conditioner works by blowing air across the cold evaporator coil where the heat is absorbed into the refrigerant. I actually don't know what that means. Kind of like Zach Hyman with goaltender interference. Sorry, Zach.
Well, you got me there. Get no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new AC from Legacy Heating and Cooling. Proud sponsor of Nuge's Nuggets.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
The Midsummer Sales Event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. The all-new redesigned 2026 XC90 is here. Test drive the ultimate evolution in luxury. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 from 0.49% and save $5,000. Finance or lease a 2026 XC40 from 2.99%. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. The Midsummer Sales Event is on now at volvocarsedmonton.com.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy. Designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical Team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada with sports and entertainment properties, including the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League's Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility, is open in Nisku, which features 2 sheets of ice, including a 1,600-seat arena and a restaurant with a viewing area.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's major public unreserved equipment auction is this Friday at 9 a.m., featuring articulated dumps, backhoes, dozers, drum and pad foot packers, excavators, graders, man lifts, motor scraper, skid steers, pavers, turf mowers, wheel loaders, plus commercial trailers. Info at maauctions.com.
Every morning, you look in the mirror and see less of yourself. Hair loss can feel like losing a part of who you are.
But it doesn't have to be that way. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we understand the pain of hair loss. Our advanced hair restoration solutions won't just bring back your hair, they'll help you face the mirror with confidence.
Good morning, you sexy beast. Visit drvanceelliott.com today, because it's time to be the man you remember.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's next major public unreserved industrial auctions are this Thursday and Friday at 9 a.m. These major unreserved auction events include multiple auction lanes selling a large section of multi-purpose trucks, equipment, and commercial trailers. Info at maauctions.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass. Actually, check that. Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
Look good, feel good, play good. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for listening to Sports 1440.
Presented by playalberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Your show here on Sports 1440, also streaming on Oilers Nation, Facebook, YouTube, and X, brought to you by playalberta.ca. Tonight, it's $1,000 a day. The Daily Grand. You can get your ticket at playalberta.ca. That's for the next 20 years, 7.3 mil, if my math is correct. Not too shabby, hey?
Did you do that math in advance, or was that off the dome?
That's prepped. That was provided to me.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's
impressive.
Not that quick. I'm pretty good at basic math, but not that type of math.
What would you consider basic math?
Like if you did multiplications like 10 digits or less, or no, 10 digits, 3 digits or less, pretty good.
If you're looking for someone to recite pi to the 30th decimal, I'm your guy.
If you're just like 7 times 8 or whatever. I'm pretty good at that stuff.
Did you ever have to learn pi in school?
Not past like 3 digits, I don't
Okay.
believe. Why did you?
Well, I don't know. Maybe I went to a weird school. I remember having to try to like memorize pi and be like, boy, I better get this done or I'll never get into a good school down the road.
How will I live?
Yeah.
We won't. Let's go around the NHL right now. Speaking of, McDonald's has pies. Apple pie. And then the
Scalding hot apple pie.
The Shania strawberry one that's always
Delicious.
sold out because everyone loves it.
Really?
Yeah.
Shania strawberry pie.
Well, because, Shania Twain has a little campaign with him.
Fantastic.
All dressed fries, shaker.
Love it.
And then the pie, yeah.
Okay.
Anywho, around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. You can cool down with $2 sundaes and snack-sized shakes, or check out the McDonald's app for an exclusive $1 cone deal. Taxes are extra. Prices exclude delivery. Check it out at McDonald's. We bring in Zach Lang from Oilers Nation and Daily Faceoff. Zach, good afternoon. How are things going?
Oh, good afternoon, gentlemen. Things are going well here. Just thinking about Shania Twain and the one time that she touched my shoulder, which I still haven't washed since.
Do go on.
I was working at the Calgary Saddle Dome as an usher, and I was working on the floor for a Shania Twain concert. And she did this fun thing where she came down off the stage and walked around, the entire bottom of the Calgary Saddle Dome. And she walked past 18, 19-year-old Zach working as an usher and brushed her hand across the upper back of my shoulders from right to left. It was a tremendous moment for me.
Electric.
That was a really good rundown. You remember it very well.
Well, I mean, Shania Twain touched my shoulder. That's not a moment that you can never forget.
Okay, question of the day that we didn't mean to get into, but it happened. What is your favorite TV show theme song?
Whoa, that's heavy. I mean, I'm a huge Simpsons fan, so I love that intro song. But for me, I really love the Sopranos one too.
Yeah.
It's just such a classic for me.
Such a good intro, just him driving around Jersey as well. That's a very good pick and a popular one at that. So some good selections, Zach. Now, let's talk some hockey today in the NHL. It is still sort of the dog days, but we did see Frank Nazar getting the contract from the Chicago Blackhawks after just 56 games played. What did you think about that deal for Chicago and I guess betting on his future?
Yeah, they're certainly taking a bet. I mean, this is a guy who's got 27 points in 56 games to his NHL career. It's kind of interesting when I look back at these younger guys getting these bigger term deals, and I always kind of think back to when Leon Draisaitl signed his big extension with the Edmonton Oilers, and we were all like, "Wow, $8.5 million over 8 years." And that was certainly one that worked out in favor of the Edmonton Oilers. It kind of goes without saying because of how good he's been. But I think there's certainly some questions about this deal. I mean, I think the projection is there for him to be a really solid NHLer, and they're certainly taking a bet here, right? I mean, this guy is still only 21 years old, high draft capital is the 13th overall pick. I'll be curious to see where this one kind of ends up, but interesting to see them get a young piece of their team locked up for a number of years here.
Yeah, and I like the idea. Like you said, Leon Draisaitl was such a good example because, for many years, he and Nathan McKinnon were such value contracts for their teams. And I mean, I'm not saying he's going to be their level, but still could be good value there. Some other news today, just talking about the Canadian Olympic team here and the camp going down. There's going to be Jordan Binnington and Aiden Hill along with Sam Montembeault in terms of goaltenders. But Doug Armstrong says it could be an open spot. It's not necessarily going to be these three guys. When you look around the league, there's Logan Thompson, potentially Darcy Kemper out there as well. Anyone that you think could be maybe a little bit of a long shot to surprise and potentially represent Canada at the Olympics?
I think Logan Thompson is probably the first guy that comes to mind here. I'm a little surprised that he wasn't even invited to this development camp. I'm surprised they didn't take a couple of more goaltenders. If they're saying that it's an open battle, you would think they would want to bring in a couple of more than just, 3 or 4 guys as they did here. So I think Thompson is a guy who could definitely compete. Let's see what kind of a start to the year Stuart Skinner has. I mean, I think he's a guy who could, make some noise, not necessarily as a guy that they would lean on in a significant starting role or anything like that. But I could see him being a guy who could be an extra body there in the net and somebody who could really benefit from some experience on the international stage like this, being around a team like Team Canada.
We're joined by Zach Lang from Oilers Nation and Daily Faceoff here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz sitting in for Jason. Some news yesterday, and really good news for Connor Ingram, getting cleared from the NHLPA's Player Assistance Program so he can return to the NHL, which is awesome. Glad to see for him. What do you think the future holds for him? Do you think it's in Utah or could it be elsewhere?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think I kind of wonder if it's going to be elsewhere for him. He's still 27 years old. He has had some good times in the NHL over the last number of years, but certainly some struggles last year, with the Utah Mammoth. I think the thing for me is you look at them and they've still got a couple of other young netminders too. Jackson Scalber had some NHL time last year. Matt Villada as well drew in for a single game last season. So, I could see Ingram being a guy that, teams look at as somebody who can maybe step into a larger role for their team. I just think it's hard to see him breaking in as a starter for Utah with Karel Vejmelka there and the big contract that they gave him last year.
Zach Lang, Oilers Nation, joining us. Zach, a couple days late on this one, but Milan Lucic, PTO out in St. Louis, and everyone we talked to, well, let's say for the most part, because I think Terry Ryan said, hey, maybe there's a chance, but a lot of people we spoke to on this show, not believers in a 37-year-old Milan Lucic. What do you think the chances are that he's playing in the NHL next season with St. Louis or elsewhere?
I want to say slim to none, but the fact that he even got a PTO in the first place was a little bit surprising for me. He only played a couple of games for the Boston Bruins, but he looked really out of place there. I know he was dealing with, some injury at the time as well and went on the shelf with a foot injury too. But, those last couple of years in Calgary really weren't that great for Milan Lucic from a hockey perspective. Of course, there's all of the off the ice stuff that happened with him that resulted in him stepping away from the game. And I kind of thought that, between all of that stuff, as well as the fact that he really wasn't a very effective player anymore, would lead teams to not give him a chance. Last year there was rumors ahead of the season, last year around this time that, he was skating and working out, hoping to get a PTO. I just don't really know what he could contribute to an NHL roster right now at 37 years old. I wouldn't be surprised to see the St. Louis Blues sign him to, a 1-year league minimum contract and kind of have him around as a veteran guy. But I don't really think you can anticipate getting much, anything effective out of Lucic this year.
Zach, I want to hop over to the Major Leagues of Baseball, and it's going to be a fun one tomorrow when the Jays head down to Miami, taking on the Marlins. Shane Bieber going to make his debut for the Blue Jays since being acquired at the trade deadline. We saw some good stuff from him down in Buffalo, but Major League's a little bit different. What are your expectations with how he'll play and how he'll be handled?
Yeah, really fascinated to see what happens here. It's a good problem to have for the Toronto Blue Jays right now. They've got a wealth of pitching, especially in the starting role right now. Eric Lauer obviously has been a tremendous story this season coming up, starting and being an incredibly effective starter at that for the team. He's going to kind of bump into a long man role out of the bullpen, which I think is a really good thing because the Jays haven't really had that this year, right? So, if there's these games where they're getting down early and they have to get to the bullpen, well, Lauer's a guy who can definitely give you 2, 3, 4, 5 innings of high quality baseball if you need to. Max Scherzer, he's been looking great as well lately. He's really turned it on. And this Shane Bieber acquisition, I'm really excited to see what he's able to do. Like you mentioned, AAA, definitely a different league than the major leagues. But Bieber has been an effective major league pitcher for a number of years here. And his stint in Buffalo with the Bisons was great. He had 3 starts, pitched 17 2/3 innings, 2.04 ERA. Really did a good job of limiting opposing contact, 16 strikeouts over that time. He looked like he was ready to go pretty early on during his rehab assignment there. So I'm really excited to see what can happen. And again, it's definitely a good problem to have with all of these arms in starting roles for the Jays.
And then right now in this season, it's funny because the Jays went on such a good run there and, still playing good, 6-4 in their last 10. But you look at the standings in the AL and the New York Yankees playing some good ball. They've won 5 in a row. They are 8-2 in their last 10. So obviously probably going to be a threat. On a scale of 1 to 10, how comfortable are you with the Jays in that 4-game lead in the AL East?
I think like a 6 out of 10. Baseball's an interesting sport, right? One bad series for the Jays, they get swept. One series for the Yankees, and they sweep. And all of a sudden, it's a 1-game lead here for the Blue Jays. So I think they're in a really good spot right now, 4 games up on the Yankees here. But there's still a lot of season left to play here. there's still some really important baseball. And for the Blue Jays, too, they've kind of slowed down a little bit as of late, it feels like, since that Colorado series. But still, 6-4 in their last 10 games. I think the thing for me that's been really impressive about the Jays is just how good they've been against really good ball teams. 34-29 against teams above 500 on the season. So seeing a lot of good things from these Blue Jays here. I think it's getting to be a point in time where you want to see them start to turn it back on a little bit. Obviously had that great stretch for the last couple of months here. And I think everybody knew they weren't going to be able to play at an extremely high level like that through the remainder of the season. There's going to be the highs, there's going to be the lows. Yeah, okay, there might be a little bit of dip here for the Blue Jays in the last couple of weeks. But man, this is a team that just continues to impress. Really, really looking good all around here.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And I will say, like, growing up, I never got to watch Jays playoff baseball until I was like in my mid-20s. Then I finally realized this is awesome. So hopefully to keep this going a little bit of a run, it's going to be a really good time down the stretch here. Zach, thanks so much for joining us on this show today. We'll have to do it again.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me, guys.
There you go. Zach Lang, Oilers Nation, and Daily Faceoff. That is Around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's.
Now, I too have been touched on the shoulder by a celebrity at an event. Would you like to hear the story?
Sure.
Flo Rida, noted hip-hop artist, came to an Elks game one time. And I went to the Elks game because I wanted to see Flo Rida. And he did a meet and greet. And it just so happened that I got to go in the line and I met him. And I said, thanks a lot for making the effort to come all the way up to Edmonton, sir, before our photo. And he touched me on the shoulder and he went, blessed, blessed. When I tell you that Flo Rida had the coldest hands I've ever felt in my life, they were even colder than that.
It's freezing.
I didn't want to tell Zach because his story involved Shania Twain. That was much cooler.
Flo Rida, Busta Rhymes, Salt and Peppa. Those are like kind of the recent hip hop acts the Elks have brought up.
Really?
Yeah.
Did
Well,
touch you on the shoulder?
No, I've never been that blessed.
I see.
Who touched me on the shoulder?
Vanilla Ice, maybe?
No.
He played once at the Elks game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was great.
There's another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, never been that lucky. A couple more just when it comes to TV theme songs. Barney Miller from Greg and Spruce Grove, and then Stephen Drumheller says Married with Children was a good one as well.
Oh, that's huge.
And then Soggy Corpses. Are you guys shotgunning? Holy mackerel. Well, we got some beers here. We got some beers here for Thirsty Thursday. That's coming up next with David Owens from Sherbrooke Liquor. We'll get to that next here on the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, Facebook, YouTube, and X, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your supplier of maximum comfort, bringing you the cool AC you need. You just have to call Legacy. Call Legacy for comfort at night when the hot air suffocates you. Call Legacy. Call Legacy for comfort in your wallet with no payments or interest for 1 year. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. You deserve comfort. Cool off today with AC from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. TNA Wrestling makes its explosive debut at the Expo Center on Friday, September 26th and Saturday, September 27th for back-to-back nights. Buy your tickets online today. Learn more about what's happening at the Expo Center by visiting the calendar of events online at edmontonexpocenter.com today.
If you're looking for the ultimate off-road adventure, you'll find it in a Jeep Wrangler. And if you're looking for the ultimate financing deal on a Wrangler, you'll find it at St. Albert Dodge. Right now, St. Albert Dodge is offering 0% financing for up to 72 months OAC on their full selection of 2025 Jeep Wranglers. And it's a great selection. Sport, Willys, Sahara, and Rubicon, plus all the new colors, all on the lot ready to go at 0%. Come see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Reports suggest that Canadian taste buds are bored to tears.
My mouth can't handle another dull drink.
Summertime smoothie experts everywhere are recommending a watermelon wake-up from Booster Juice.
It's so smooth, cool, and refreshing.
And ridiculously delicious. Enjoy the Watermelon Wave and Watermelon Explosion smoothies, available all summer long at a Booster Juice near you. Stay cool, Canada.
Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
This summer, get it done with Bashaw Concrete Products. The highest quality ready mix and gravel with quick, dependable delivery across central Alberta. Call now for your free quote from their friendly, helpful team. Bashaw Concrete Products also offers precast water pads for your cattle, garage sumps, and water cisterns. And if your farm, acreage, or cabin needs a new septic tank, remember, their CSA-approved tanks include a 20-year limited replacement warranty. Can't beat that. Visit BashawConcrete.com and follow them on Facebook.
Photographers, start your cameras. It's time for Vision Credit Union's annual photo contest. Enter your hometown snapshot and show us what makes your community amazing. Whether it's a view from the farm, a stroll down Main Street, or a weekend at the rodeo, we're looking for snapshots that show off your rural Alberta hometown. Share your photo before September 2nd for a chance to win cash prizes or a donation to your favorite community group. Learn more via Vision's Facebook page or go to whatsyourshare.ca.
How you doing, young lady?
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
On Sports 1440, Connor Halley sitting in, Declan Kruger, Josh Fenwick with me here in the studio currently. Wanye Gretz will be back momentarily. We'll get to the text line here. Of course, Jason Gregor Show brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Today it is the daily grant, $1,000 for the next 20 years. Check it out, PlayAlberta.ca. We had to kind of came up with the topic here as the show went on, kind of by accident. What was your favorite TV theme song? Gord Oil says this one goes back to Low Tide's time. Grizzly Adams theme song. Tom Pace, maybe. We had Chips from Schwackhammer. Northside Loose's first year of True Detective. I can get behind that one. Walter's Green Acres. Fall Guy from Park Boy Ash. Mulconroy says Flintstones, Gilligan Island. Yeah, those are kind of the classic ones. Coach Bill, the Greatest American Hero theme song was the best. Some of these I have to go check out. Northside boys, shout out DuckTales. Goat theme song. Yeah, DuckTales was a great one. Or Gargoyles on like the same vein of those cartoons. I still remember all the lyrics from Gilligan's Island, even though I haven't seen the show in probably 30 years, from Tyler J. So if you got any ones you want to throw out there, let us know. Brad, the driver, says Spider-Man. Yeah, an absolute classic. Kolchak had a great one as well from Roger. So there's a lot. Succession. Sopranos. King of Kensington, with honorable mentions to The Raccoons and Little Sobo from Rockford, Miami Vice, Darkwing Duck from Pillman, Simon and Simon from Darryl. Yeah, keep those rolling in. Everyone has an opinion on that one. Right now, though, let's get to Thirsty Thursday, brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best selection of wines, spirits, beers, and non-alcoholic drinks. 2 locations, Southside on 50th Street and 92nd Ave, and the OG store, St. Albert Trail and 118th. We bring in David Owens. David, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
Good. I have to ask you the question.
Yeah.
TV show theme songs.
Yeah,
what comes
so
to mind?
I've been listening and listening into a few of the ones I came up with. We've heard already. The Greatest American Hero is pretty fantastic.
Okay.
Sure. Then we're starting to hear some of those Canadian shows coming up, and I don't think we've heard The Littlest Hobo yet.
Few people's thrown that one
okay,
out there.
one,
Yeah.
okay. And then the other one that I loved was the early '90s. We were talking about hip hop.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit disappointed that Busta Rhymes was an Elks game, and I missed that.
Yeah.
But
I heard he got in and out.
We share the same birthday. So
okay.
Anyways, In Living Color.
Yeah.
Which was Heavy D and the Boys who
Mhm.
wrote that for it. Or if you remember them coming out and performing it and them busting through the wall and
I don't
big purple suit.
I remember the show
Yeah.
though. Yeah. Okay. That's a good one.
Top
Yeah.
notch.
Yeah.
Top notch.
Everyone's got a different one here. Mission Impossible from the 60s, Drew says.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, we've heard the newer version for the movies
Get
and the film
Smart.
series. Get Smart. Yep. That was a good one too.
I'm showing my age now.
You know what? They're classics. And if people don't know these, just hop on YouTube.
That's right.
Maybe later on today, not during the show. Hop on later and go listen to them because they're all there. What do we got today? We got a lot of beers here. I told you during the break, you cracked one and I was like, oh, that kind of smells quite nice actually.
Yeah, there's some good ones here. So we're heading out to the Atlantic coast.
All right.
And we are focusing all on maritime and Atlantic beers today. So we've got Newfoundland, we got Nova Scotia, we got PEI, we got New Brunswick in here. So we've got a good gamut from everything.
Where do you want to start here?
And so we're gonna start on the left there, yeah. And that's that our Kitty Vitty Iceberg, and this is one of our all-time best sellers. This is just a clean, crisp, light lager. It's got sort of that bright carbonation to it, pretty neutral malt base. It's extremely crushable and really a definition of that regional classic. And this is a Newfoundland beer.
So Terry Ryan, we've got to have him in studio to give this one a go.
Mm-hmm.
Is Newfoundland known for their beers?
Well, Kitty Vitty it's a really iconic in Newfoundland. So it's set up in a former fish plant in St. John's.
Oh, really?
They've been around since about 1996, and their iceberg beer it's brewed with 20,000-year-old iceberg water.
20,000?
20,000-year-old iceberg water harvested from the Newfoundland coast. So brilliant mix of that sort of genuine terroir they have there, and some marketing, of course.
You say crushable. That one
That's
goes down
crushable.
pretty easy.
And I think it's 4.5%. So it's it's easy, it's crushable on a hot summer day. You can have more than one of those and not be too guilty.
I've never seen it before either. That's just me exposing myself.
That's fair, yeah.
You've
It
never
is.
seen that before, but very good.
Yeah, like I said, it is one of our all-time bestsellers.
Quitty Vitty.
Quitty
For
Vitty.
those
Yeah,
looking at it. I'll
Quitty
bring it
Vitty.
up on camera here. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see it. If not, go check it out later. We've also got it on our social media platforms available at Sherbrooke Liquor. Okay, where do we go to next?
Okay, we're
here?
going to go to Nova Scotia next, and Propeller Brewing, and this is a New Zealand Pilsner. So Propeller's been around since about 1997 in Halifax, one of the true sort of OGs of Canadian craft. So this release highlights their continued sticking with modernism, but also classic. So they're doing a real classic sort of Czech Pills style, but with New Zealand hops. And New Zealand hops are pretty experimental, and you'll get that big aroma with that one for sure.
I was going to say, you can definitely smell this one. I don't know if this was the one I smelled, but
No, I think when you smell it was the last one. When we get to that, you'll recognize it for sure. This is also really crisp and bright. Sort of a zesty lime.
Yeah, I was going to say, you kind of have that citrusy taste towards the end. Almost after you swallow it, it kind of just lingers in your mouth. That's kind of nice.
Yeah, and a real sort of snappy finish to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's quite nice.
Unlike the iceberg before, that just really doesn't leave much aftertaste at all. This one gives you a little bit of that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The iceberg you swallow, it's kind of gone.
And it's just gone right
This
away,
one I
yeah.
can still taste it actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's quite nice actually. Then that one is from Halifax.
That one's from Halifax.
So I was in Halifax and we did the Keith's tour.
Oh, okay.
So if you're going to Halifax, I highly recommend that. That was very
Classic.
cool.
That's right.
And I unfortunately didn't have that one, but I've got some friends out in Halifax. And that one's 5.2%, so a little bit stronger.
A little bit stronger.
The
Yeah.
previous.
Yeah.
All right, next one up.
We're moving on. We're in PEI now, Prince Edward Island. So this is the Gahan Brewery, and this is their Blueberry Ale. And this was a hugely popular beer with us many years ago, and then they kind of disappeared from the market and have recently come back. So we're really excited to have them back. It's a really fantastic beer, one of the really original sort of fruit style beers, wheat beers that came into the market many years ago. So
Were you a fan of, I think back almost 20 years ago, going out to certain establishments and getting the beer with the raspberries in it, and then it kind of evolved that everything was doing it. Then you didn't even need the fruit added to it. It just was done already. Are you a fan of the fruity type beers?
It's up and down. It depends on the moment. I don't discriminate anything, but this is really nice. It's a nice clean wheat beer.
Yeah.
It doesn't have, sometimes those, wheat beers can be, be a little bit, it's snappy. I'm using that word a lot today. snappy again, but this one has a really nice balance to it, and that blueberry is just like, it doesn't overpower.
No,
by any means. It's just a nice subtle addition to it.
Like if you poured that for one of your buddies, I don't think their first thought would be, "This is a blueberry beer."
No,
it goes down easy, it's clean, and then there's just kind of a little bit of the flavor there.
Yeah, and it's like it's just a gentle berry sweetness to it.
Yeah,
just gentle on the nose.
And this one, for those keeping track of the percentages,
it's 4.5.
4.5, so another bit of a lighter one. That's always a good pick. This one.
Okay,
this is a beer you're telling me.
We're going to New Brunswick now. So this is Long Bay out of Rothesay, New Brunswick. A little bit smaller, but it's gained a reputation for their fruit beers. And so this one is the King Berry, as you can see. So it's a fruited sour ale, real sweet tart berry character up front. That ruby color, of course, and just to expect some jamminess, some richness, a little bit of tartness to it. And that nose right off the bat
smells good.
That's that berry.
Tastes like berry.
Tastes like berry.
Very, like, doesn't even taste like a beer to me.
No, and then you feel that there's that contrast between the Gahan that we just had with that blueberry in this, and then just the intenseness of this berry in here.
And those, I mean, if you didn't see, it does have kind of the reddish, very reddish pink tint to it.
Very raspberry.
Yeah, that's good though.
Also, a really nice easy crusher on a summer day. These things, really cold are really refreshing.
I was gonna say, there's times, younger days going houseboating, you wake up early in the morning and it's like, well, we're on vacation, you might as well crack one. That might be one you go for.
This is a breakfast beer, for sure.
That's nice and sweet.
People think you're drinking your cranberry juice.
Yeah. Oh, this is just ginger ale. It's not what you think it is. That is good though. I like that.
Yeah, so we're gonna stay with Long Bay, and we just got a whole bunch of Long Bay ones. These are just two of, I think we've got 6 ones that just came into the market, so we're pretty excited to have them here. This one here is one of their flagships, so it's a true East Coast pale ale. So balanced rather than palate wrecking, as some of those ales can be. So this one is really approachable, golden citrus, tropical hops, perfect sort of anytime beer.
The unfiltered hazy pale ale. All right, looking forward to this one. Cool can with the fly on it.
Yeah, and it's not overly hazy too, which if you notice some of these days, the Northeast IPAs and things like that are so hazy you can't even see through them. This one was just nicely balanced with that.
Kind of has a citrusy smell before I get into it.
For sure.
Well, that one's good too.
Oh, yeah,
goes down
lovely.
Very easy actually.
Yeah, and I don't think it's I think it's rated 5% also.
Okay.
So none of these are really. I think our last one is the first one that pops out of that 5% range. We push all the way up to 6. But.
And you said Long Bay Brewery, they've got a couple different ones.
Yeah, we just got a whole bunch of them into the market here. So these are just 2 of them. I believe there's about 6 different ones that have come in now. So
oh, really?
I'm pretty excited to have them.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, if people are fans of it, head on down.
Yeah, they're in the new shelf at both stores. Come check them out.
All right. So the final one here.
And final one here, we are final one. Where are we going to here? We're going to Nova Scotia, and this is at Two Crows. What in tarnation? So this is a definite Northeast IPA, real, opaque still, not not so much you can't see through it. Tropical fruit, mango, pineapple, passion fruit. This is that one that you smelled when I cracked it open.
Yeah, there was one. Velvety, lush, and juicy per the can. So for those of you who want to check this one out, New England IPA, all right.
Yeah, fantastic.
When I see like New England IPA, I don't know why. Maybe like not as educated on this as you are, but it's not what I thought it would be. I thought it'd be like a darker brown type thing, and maybe a little stiffer. But that's pretty good.
The Northeast ones are they're known for their haziness, and haziness, big tropical fruit punch style beers with that pineapple, mango, things like that into it. And this beer doesn't disappoint. And every time Two Crows comes in, they're a small batch stuff, and so we don't get a lot of it all the time. But when we do, we're pretty excited at the store.
So if people want to come down 2 locations, they can ask you about any of the things they heard on the Jason Gregor Show.
Gotcha.
Now, ranking time 1 through 3. Let's go 3, 2, 1.
Ooh,
How do you have
3, 2, 1 today. I'm going to. I really enjoyed that the berry.
Mm-hmm.
That was fantastic today.
The blueberry.
The blueberry is great too. But I'm going to go with the other one today.
Kingberry.
I'm going to go with the Kingberry. Also, it's a fun can. So
it is, yeah.
And then the Propeller New Zealand Pills was great, and just for we're about to get into a heat wave here, so that iceberg will be perfect.
Yeah. I mean, I would have iceberg at 3, I would say. Like, that was a really good clean one. Like you said, with the heat, you're sitting outside on the patio, maybe even by a fire. It'd be a pretty good one. I did like the propeller. And then I think I have blueberry ale as number 1.
Right on.
Like, it's a good beer. And then, it, like you said, it's just kind of got that little bit of a taste at the end.
Just nice and subtle. Yeah.
Goes down easy.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming in and doing this.
Yeah,
I appreciate the beers. That's always a good little nice treat on a Thursday afternoon.
Good to see you're all surviving here, keeping the roost going here.
Well, we're trying.
While Gregor's away. Yeah.
trying to make it work, trying to keep things afloat here.
Right
He
on.
picked a great time to go on vacation because some guests, a lot of vacations going on in the sports world, I would say.
Right.
Maybe the last hurrah before the NHL camps start rolling and all that. So we're getting by, but glad to have you coming on in, and we'll see you again next Thursday.
Next Thursday, yeah, perfect.
There you go. That is David Owens from Sherbrooke Liquor. Check them out in their 2 locations. Of course, you can get it Southside 50th Street and 92nd Ave, or the OG store, St. Albert Trail in 118th. A lot to get to still here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz, Stephen Kruger, and Josh Fenwick with you. In the next hour, Matt Taylor will join us. We'll talk some Indianapolis Colts. We've got Colin Livingston swinging by for the Cantor race report. Also, we'll talk to Speck, Kevin Radomski from the Oil Kings, and more. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. But right now, we're going to get to a Sports 1440 update with Declan Kruger, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. You can use promo code Gregor50 and get a $50 free play with your deposit. Also tonight, Daily Grand. That's $1,000 a day for the next 20 years, $7.3 million. And hey, good news, all revenue stays in Alberta. PlayAlberta.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
One final from the majors earlier today was the A's over the Twins 8-2-3. 5 games in action right now. Royals lead the Rangers 6-4. Brewers lead the Cubs 4-1. Dodgers lead the Rockies 8-2. Mets lead the Nats 2-0. And the Giants lead the Padres by the same score. Santa Cruz Aruba is over Venezuela 2-0 in the bottom of the 5th. And Nevada and South Carolina will go at 5 today. In the Tour Championship, the current leader is Russell Henley at 7 under. Colin Morikawa, Patrick Henley, Justin Thomas tied for second at 6 under. And the highest ranked Canadian is Nick Taylor, tied for 12 at 3 under. Through one round in the CPKC Women's Championship, Gabby Lopez, Megan Kang, and Aphrodite Deng, the Canadian, all tied for the lead at 5 under. Eagles wide receiver Johnny Wilson will undergo season-ending surgery after a knee and ankle injury, and the Chicago Blackhawks signed Frank Nazar to a 7-year contract with $4.6 million. $46.1 million. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
The Midsummer Sales Event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. The all-new redesigned 2026 XC90 is here. Test drive the ultimate evolution in luxury. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 from 0.49% and save $5,000. Finance or lease a 2026 XC40 from 2.99%. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. The Midsummer Sales Event is on now at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Mr. Rooter connects with Gen Z.
I have 84 followers, as my niece would say. Slay.
No, that's cringe.
How do I get more?
You're a plumber. Make a skibbity toilet joke.
A skibbity what now?
Or make a fashion calendar full of super hot plumbers, plumbers with drip.
Young lady, I'd appreciate it if you'd stop acting so thirsty around my employees.
Burn, Uncle Mr. Rooter.
Slay.
For a plumber who cooks, call Mr. Rooter.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
What a performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicked things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Catch all the summer sports action right here. Stelly's Sports Bar and Lounge. Stelly's is where sports fans cheer loud and proud for their favorite teams. There's never a bad seat in the house. Game night food and drink features. Tons of screens. Stelly's Sports Bar and Lounge at all 3 Century Casino locations. Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
Every day is game day at Century Casino.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. We treat pain and injuries head to toe and some other issues that might surprise you, like incontinence, vertigo, neuropathy, and cognitive issues. We invest in the technology, technique, skills, and people who know how and what to fix. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Of course, tonight, $1,000 a day. 20 years. Could you imagine? What a life-changing win that would be. Also, if you are making a deposit, use code word Gregor50 to get a $50 free bet. PlayAlberta.ca. Use your GameSense. GameSenseAB.ca. Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz, Josh Fenwick, Declan Kruger with you here. The Stingray Studios in West Edmonton Mall. Wanye, these beers.
How was your party?
It was good. Yeah, you missed out on the Rager.
Why had to go on the side room?
Just get away from it all.
Just didn't want to have too many people in the studio.
That's true.
This to me is asking for trouble for a spill, but that's just.
You're right. You are right. If one of our engineers came in here and saw this, they might be like, "Hey, boys, clean it up."
That's the hardware guy in me.
But they shouldn't fall over.
An accident is that. An accident.
Gravity tells me we've only had one spill on the board here.
So far.
Josh is been in radio school probably a decade and a half more recent than I have.
Mm-hmm.
Number one rule, Josh, well, there's probably two. Assume every mic is on.
I learned that the hard way.
Mic. And then also no drinks near the board. That's two, yeah. That's just
what about
staples.
21 drinks near the board.
50 drinks near the mics.
They never heard of Thirsty Thursday at radio school.
You know, when I went to radio school, they just drank during the day.
Really?
It was like Mad Men.
Kids drank during the day?
My one of the people I went to school with, one of the people in charge, sometimes would say, "Here's my credit card. Go grab some beers." Yeah. I didn't go to Nate. I did not go to Nate. I went to a school that's defunct now.
Oh,
shocking. Yeah. Nate wouldn't do that. But the one I went to, a little more.
What do you mean defunct?
Well, I shut down. The Canadian School of Modern Broadcasting no longer exists.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Because of an alcohol-related spill?
No, nothing like that. I don't know the exact reason. I think the people who ran it just kind of decided not to do it anymore.
Where was the campus?
Well, it was downtown.
Mm-hmm.
I forget which building. And then the year I was there, I think it was supposed to be a 6-month program. They moved midway through just to a different location. I actually was given a key to the building because I was one of the people who was there on time consistently.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. I finished. I went to one of my instructors and I said, "Does this count? Am I going to find a job?" And he's like, "Yep, you got the piece of paper. You're good." So that was it.
And you did find a job.
Yeah. Shout out to Bryn Griffiths, who hired me at 1260 back in the day. I was playing Madden one day after graduating. It was probably maybe a month or so after graduating. And my mom said, because I was like 19, 20, living at home, she's like, "Go get a job or your rent's going up." So I called Bryn. Hired a few days later on the street team, and the rest is history.
Thank goodness your mom told you.
Yeah, well, sometimes you need that kick, right? But maybe if it is even a threat. She was like, "We didn't pay that money for you to go to school to work in the grocery store forever.
So there's two types of motivation: the carrot and the stick.
Yeah,
you're a stick guy.
I didn't want to pay more rent either. So does that count as the carrot?
Yeah, like do this or trouble.
That? Yeah, I mean it worked certainly.
A carrot's like, don't you want this thing?
Yeah,
and that's not how you get motivated.
If the thing ahead of me was not paying more rent, because I was getting a pretty good deal staying at home,
Totally.
Would you charge Wanye Jr. rent when he's older?
Depends where he's at.
Yeah.
If he's acting the scoundrel, yes.
If he's in school,
but he's a good boy.
Of course, great.
I don't think there's going to be any problems with Wanye Jr. in this life. He's already more mature than I am in many ways. I don't know if I recounted the story to you, but he made me start bike riding. I hadn't ridden a bike since grade 3. I rode it around
your
the
bike
block.
was stolen, right?
Yes, and he said to me, and I got to the end, "Don't you feel like a big boy now?" This is not somebody who needs to be charged rent. He's going to be in charge of the household very shortly.
He'll be okay.
He'll be fine.
Yeah, I think if the kid's in school or something, maybe you can make an exception. But if they're making
sitting
money
around, playing Stargate or whatever the kids of the future do, I might levy some sort of fine on him monthly.
I think that's fair. Wanye, I did have this for later because I thought you were in at 3 today.
My apologies.
You are our big guest of the day.
Wow.
Brought to you by Silent Rides Charter Company, one of the Alberta's premier bus charter companies with state-of-the-art motor coaches safely taking your team or group to the next destination. Check them out, silentrides.ca for more information. We did talk about TV theme songs. Tailspin was an incredible theme song, says Soggy Corpse. Turtle Power was a second TMNT movie.
Oh, yeah, I can remember that song. Turtle Power.
That's actually what he wrote.
Is that what he wrote?
Yeah, he put that in.
Yeah.
Brandon from Victoria. Oh, shout out of the coast. Andy Griffith Show. That was the whistling one.
You know what I always found amazing for TV shows? How much crap Vanilla Ice took for writing the Ninja Turtle rap for the Ninja Turtle movie. And I saw I saw an interview with him recently, and Vanilla Ice has done very well for himself. He didn't blow any of his money. He's big into real estate. He had a real estate TV show, and they were asking about that song, and he's like, kids walk up to me in 2024 or whatever it was for 2 reasons: Ice Ice Baby or the Ninja Turtle rap. He goes, if you saw the royalties from the Ninja Turtle rap song, you wouldn't make fun of the Ninja Turtle rap song.
I would never do it anyways, because I was one of those kids.
I loved it.
When they're fighting, Secret of the Ooze, right? And they're fighting in the warehouse, and it's just one of his concerts, and they get on stage and start dancing.
Oh,
you can't beat it.
He took a lot of guff, though, in that era for like selling out. But he's like, I think Ninja Turtles are cool.
I could understand like why people might rip him at the time, sell out. But if he's trying to be like a serious hip hop artist, but
he also wrote Ice Ice Baby when he was 16.
Oh, okay.
That's impressive.
Didn't he get sued? Did Queen sue him?
I think so.
Like Under Pressure, kind of
Probably.
similar.
Everyone's suing everyone these days.
The 18 from Free Agent Radio listener, Gigi says, this is Gigi, the theme song to Crime Story. I don't really know what that is.
You want to talk about a theme song that's creepy? How about the Unsolved Mysteries theme?
Oh, I love it. It gives me goosebumps.
Scares the heck out of me still.
That other one, the one, it was a really big deal about the guy who was accused of murder and was still in jail. It was on Netflix, might have been pre-2020. I forget exactly what it was called.
The old man who confessed to the murder in the final episode?
Don't think so. It was a guy with, I think it was his nephew, and his nephew's like, can I watch WrestleMania? And they're like, no, you're going to jail because you confessed. Declan, do you know what I'm talking about here?
Was this Making a Murder?
Making a Murder, that's the one, yeah. That intro is another one that's kind of eerie, but good.
And what was the show with the creepy old guy from Hollywood? And the whole documentary was about did he or didn't he kill someone? And in the grand finale of the show, he had a hot mic on. Always assume every mic is live.
Yep.
And he admitted to the murder.
I don't know which one that was.
Robert something or
other.
It was like an HBO something. I remember that.
Yeah.
It was it was a big deal.
He admitted to the murder.
Yeah, he did. But
You're courting trouble if you allow them to make a documentary about the crime you got away with.
You absolutely are.
Well, we'll see if we can find out who it was. Was it Robert Durst?
Yes.
There you go. I don't know who he is.
Bad person from Hollywood.
But he did admit it in the end. Oh, there you go.
A fool.
Someone said Robert Frost, but internet tells me it was Durst.
Well, Robert Frost was a famous author.
Yeah.
He probably killed somebody.
CBC 80s show Seeing Things was creepy bleep from Colin.
How come we never hear the Hockey Night in Canada theme anymore? Is that because CBC, Sportsnet, all that?
TSN has the rights to it.
Don't broadcast.
But they only have regional games for Ottawa, Montreal, and Winnipeg, I think.
How did TSN end up getting that song?
They paid for it. And people didn't love that. But then they made the new song, and I'm pretty sure the Edmonton composer won the contest, and that's his song now that they use.
Well, I love everybody from Edmonton, but I miss the Hockey Night in Canada theme.
Yeah, it was an absolute classic song. You're talking about the Dodgers-Rockies game. Dodgers now lead 8-3. For those of you out there curious about what's going on. Elks in action tomorrow night taking on the Ottawa Red Blacks. They're going to make it 3 straight. Obviously, we'll get into it a little bit more tomorrow on the show. This game is going to be interesting. Like, I feel like the Elks have to have that confidence rolling into this one, just with the way things have gone for them. Even past their last 2 wins, they've been right in these games. Wanye, they've had a chance to win. And I mean, I think mojo might be a little bit overrated, but feeling good about yourself, knowing that the things you're hearing from the coach do lead to victories. Like, I think when you hear that message on, and it's like, okay, we're doing all these things you're telling us, but it's not working. We're not winning football games. It doesn't do much. But then when you look at the games prior to their wins, it was like, geez, 1 or 2 plays away and we win this football game. Let's just keep hammering at that. We're going to get it done. Last 2 games, you pick up wins, build on that. You're starting to see what's working. And Justin Rankin obviously is a guy you want to feed the football in as many different ways as you can. Cody Fajardo is the guy you trust to make the proper decisions, the right reads out there. And then defensively, like, it is starting to come together. And I think that you're getting that belief, obviously, with the coaching staff and JC Sherritt making the right calls, but execution is getting there as well. And you're starting to see the defensive line making some plays. We're getting a strip sack. Like, we aren't having we got a Tyrell Ford pick 6 previous game. It's nice to see these things all starting to come together and, like, team moving in the right direction.
Did Fajardo win both of the games?
He was a starter for the 2 wins.
For the 2
he lost a couple before that.
Yeah.
And then, getting the running game and going as well, because that's been an issue. Like, 3 of the last 4 games, minimal carries, like 5 carries for your running backs, things of that sort. It's just, if you play defense in any pro football league, when offense goes one-dimensional, it gets so much easier for everyone. Like, okay, they're not running, so edge rushers, let's get after the quarterback. Maybe you're dropping a few extra guys back into coverage because they're going to be throwing the football. Things don't open up. Just having that running game going, and it opens up the play action pass. You have to at least respect it a little bit. That's why you see it a lot of times in the NFL with the extra down. Even if it's not working, they'll continue to run the football just to keep opposing defenses honest. And I think that's gone a long way for this Elks team. And they need to keep it going, maybe even more, because Rankin, every time he touches the ball, rank the tank. He's making big time plays, and hopefully that continues.
I get all my Elks news from our colleague Declan and Eddie Steele. I've watched all the episodes of Elks Central and Elks 101. Declan, it seems to me that last year's Elks were a bit more of a sad sack attitude, right? They lost a biblical amount of games. Everybody was down on them. The organization, I think, this year is a lot more positive. And I think that positivity goes a long way. Everybody in the CFL is a very skilled athlete. Even the difference between the last place team in the CFL and the first place in the grand scheme of things, everybody here is still a pro.
Mm-hmm.
If you have that base level of positivity, which I think they do now and didn't last year, that's worth wins.
Yeah, I think the last year was just, it was consistently inconsistent for a good part of the season, where Trey Ford got to get him in the lineup, and they have him in there, and then he plays iffy, and then you put in McLeod Bethel Thompson, and then he's playing good, but then all of a sudden he's pulled, and they lost their first 7 games of the season, took them into week 8, I believe. Went on a bit of a winning streak, right? They won 3 games in a row, went into Saskatchewan, had a big win. Then they beat the Lions and the Ticats, lost to the Elks, but beat Calgary in 2 straight games. And all of a sudden you're like, okay, they've won 5 of their last 6. Then they had a home with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and it was a tough game for Trey Ford. They lost 27-14. And that was one of the moments where I said, if you believe in Trey Ford, like as an organization, you got to stick with him. You can't let him try to bounce back. It wasn't that big of a loss. A week later, they go to Winnipeg. They lose 55-27. You had McLeod Bethel Thompson as your quarterback, and it just felt like kind of a wasted opportunity. They'd go on to lose to the Riders in a pretty close game, and then they'd win their last 2 games. But it just wasn't enough. And that's why we always talk about it. Like, you're not going to win or make the playoffs with early season wins, but it might help you not make or not miss them, right? Like, the slow start was what did them in. They They put up a valiant effort towards the end of the season, won some football games, but it wasn't enough. Things had to change. And Kamar Killam was hired, a guy who known for his preparation with the Stampeders, special teams coordinator, assistant head coach. Ed Hervey comes back, a guy who has a winning pedigree in this city. And I think that they're going in the right direction. I think they made the right moves. Obviously, certain parts of the team had to be rebuilt. The defense, there was a lot of new players coming in, but the offensive line had a lot of success. I think they're still getting better as the season goes on and hopefully can keep it going. But we'll see. It is, I mean, because this has been going on for so long, I totally understand the fan base that's getting frustrated saying, like, we got to see something. It can't be moral victories. Even though with this regime, I think it'd be fair to say, like, okay, they're starting to figure out this fan base has been through it for so long. We got to see some wins.
I think it's a multi-year process to get yourself off the bottom of the league floor.
Absolutely.
And I think the progress made this year, even though the season's not over, versus the progress made last year, I think they've come off bottom. I think the decline has stopped. There wasn't much further to go.
Yeah.
And I think they're now on the up. And I think as an Elks fan or a would-be Elks fan or an Edmonton sports fan, all you can hope for is that the team is at least pointing in the right direction when it's been this bad for this long. Not having a win in June since 2019. These are the kind of statistics that can make you think that you'll never see the end of the tunnel, right? But I think that they're honestly a lot better than their record would suggest because, again, Declan told me that.
And it's fair. 2 games they lost this year, like, probably should have won. Probably should have beat Hamilton. I think that one for sure. It's a drop at the end of the game that kind of does you in. Game before that in Saskatchewan, there's a few plays. Saskatchewan's a really good football team. So I think even that losing that game, it was like, okay, looking at the whole landscape of the season and where we are, where they are in a tough place to play, let's build off that. Let's kind of get that momentum going. And I think they've done it. We'll see. But a chance to win 3 straight games, that would be a pretty big feat for this team. Like we said, they did it last year. They'll look to do it again tomorrow night in Ottawa. We'll have coverage all day long tomorrow here on Sports 1440, getting you set for that one. It's a 5:30 kickoff. If you're looking for a place to watch it, of course, you know, you can watch it at home on your couch, or you can come hang out with me. I'll be at the Elks watch party at Billy Bud's.
Billy Bud's?
Yeah. Apparently they got really good pizza and food and wings and, of course, beers. So if you want to come out and watch a place, 5:30 kickoff tomorrow. I'll have to get out of here a little bit early, but it's in capable hands with Declan Kruger and Josh Fenwick. We'll take a break here on the show. When we come back, we are going to talk some NFL football, the Indianapolis Colts quarterback situation. Pretty wild. The voice of the team, Matt Taylor, will join us next. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, Facebook, YouTube, and X, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
It's the Bricks mattress sale of your dreams. Score dreamy deals like up to 40% off mattresses and queen beds starting at just $269. Get select king mattresses for the price of a queen and select queen mattresses for the price of a twin. Plus, queen platform bases start at just $299. Score 20% off metal bed frames when you buy any mattress. And get free local delivery when you buy any mattress on your Flexity card. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantor. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at Cantor.com.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we believe that life shouldn't hurt. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't know that sometimes it really hurts. I mean, we've seen people at their worst moments in life, when they feel they have nowhere to turn, or at a time when they felt like their problem just wouldn't ever go away. We've also seen people who thought to themselves, it'll just go away on its own, or this is no big deal. I don't want to bother anyone about this. Don't know where to turn to, or think it's no big deal? Either way, we have the technology, techniques, and skills to help you get back to it, whatever your it may be. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
McDonald's sundaes and snack size shapes are $2, or get $1 cones exclusively on the McDonald's app. With those prices, your hands are going to be full of treats. Like Alex here.
My phone.
I got you. App download and registration required. At participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also, a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley sitting in for Jason, Wanye Gretz, Declan Kruger, and Josh Fenwick with you here, keeping you on track here on Sports 1440. Also streaming on Oilers Nation, Facebook, YouTube, and X. The show brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca today. You got the grant a day for the next 20 years. That's $7.3 million. Go get your ticket at PlayAlberta.ca, and when you make your deposit, put in code word Gregor50 and get a $50 free bet. You can do that once a month. Every month it resets. So check it out, PlayAlberta.ca. Right now, we're going to get to the football report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, hiring HVAC installers and plumbers, starting bonuses to the right candidates, strong benefits, RRSP matching, tuition reimbursement. You can apply today at legacyheating.ca. And one of the situations I know I talked about quite a bit here on the station was the situation with the Indianapolis Colts and the quarterback position. Anthony Richardson, taken 4th overall just a couple of years ago, had the bright spots, but there were some inconsistencies. They did bring in quarterback Daniel Jones over from the Minnesota Vikings, who we know was drafted by the New York Giants, got them a playoff victory a couple seasons ago. And it was announced earlier this week that Daniel Jones would be the starting quarterback heading into the season. To discuss that and more, we bring on the voice of the team, Matt Taylor. Matt, thanks so much for doing this today. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, doing really good, and appreciate you giving us some of your time today to discuss this. I guess first things first, we got to talk about the quarterback room, and how did this come down? I thought for sure that Anthony Richardson would be given that other opportunity to start, but Daniel Jones comes in and plays well enough to get the starting job.
Yeah, so just a little bit of a genesis of the move. I mean, the Colts kind of were stuck between a rock and a hard place as it relates to this quarterback competition because of, I think their hand was kind of forced between, the fact that Anthony Richardson started only 15 games in his first 2 years, and he had 4 different injuries that kept him out. They sat him down for a couple of games last year in terms of, trying to have him hone in on focus and preparation and, just everything that comes with, the lifestyle of being a franchise quarterback in the NFL. And then you couple that with his production that they did see from him on the field, last year, completing less than half of his passes, 47.7 completion percentage. So those two things inspired the Colts to want to bring in quarterback competition for him in the offseason in the form of Daniel Jones, free agency move back in March. And so they've let that thing played out, and it very much did play out pretty evenly in training camp and the offseason workout program, and what guys were able to show and display in preseason games. So, that's sort of the context of this decision. And they wanted the most consistent guy to win the job, and consistency in all forms, again, of what it takes to play quarterback in the NFL. That's consistency of mastering the playbook, consistency of recognizing things pre-snap at the line of scrimmage, getting in and out of bad plays, what it means to be a leader inside the locker room. And then obviously the biggest thing is what it boils down to is just consistency in the passing game, ball placement, and overall accuracy. So, Shane Steichen makes the decision that it's Daniel Jones in 70 career games and 69 starts. At this juncture between the two is the better option, in noting that Anthony Richardson certainly got much better in the offseason, took things very, very seriously, showed a lot of improvement and growth and development. But still, Shane said today, or yesterday rather, that it still has some room to grow and still has some areas he needs to improve. So again, at this juncture right now, compared to these guys compared to one another, Jones is the option the Colts are going with, and trying to show some more consistency in the intermediate part of the passing game. That's where the Colts need to improve the most on offense. Is 15 to 20 yards down the field, between the numbers, get the tight ends a little bit more involved than they were last year. If they can get that part of this offense a little bit more efficient compared to the numbers they put up last year, this should be a team that can contend for the playoffs. And, they were 8-9 last year, and they had an up and down defense, but certainly I thought that was definitely a playoff worthy or caliber team. What we saw last year. I'm not going to say it's all about one guy or one position, but as we all know, the quarterback in the NFL is probably the most important position in sports. So Colts had a lot of games last year where if they had just a little bit more consistency from that position, they might have made the playoffs. And, they're picking the guy that they think can give them some more consistency early on in the season with Daniel Jones, again, in his 7th year in the NFL.
Matt Taylor, voice of the Indianapolis Colts, joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in. And, just to stick with the quarterback room for one more question here. And Anthony Richardson, I remember coming out of the draft out of Florida, I thought, man, this is like the guy if you're building a quarterback, this is what you want. 6'4", 240, great athleticism. The knock would have been, he only had 13 starts down in Gainesville. So what do you think the future holds for Anthony Richardson, still just 23 years old?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. And the Colts are adamant that, they're not, this isn't, for lack of a better term, a death sentence for Anthony Richardson with the Colts. Like you said, he's still only 23 years old. He's oozing with potential. To this point, it hasn't, produced, a franchise quarterback for the Colts because of, again, injuries and lack of performance on the field. This is a team right now it's stacked. It's ready to go. I mean, from a roster mechanics standpoint, there's just not a whole lot of deficiencies on this team. There's no glaring weaknesses. I mean, are there better teams in terms of overall talent? I mean, I guess you could argue that, but this is a team that has the core of its roster, ready to go. It's in the prime of their careers in a lot of different areas. So the Colts are feeling this urgency to win. They haven't made the playoffs in 4 consecutive seasons. It's been a quarterback carousel. Shane Steichen and Chris Ballard know that the fan base is getting itchy a little bit, and the NFL stands for not for long. It's what have you done for me lately? And so I think that's another, determining factor in this decision. It's we have a roster that's ready to go, that's built to win right now. Let's see if we can find a more consistent quarterback, and that's why they've made this decision in Daniel Jones. But as it relates to Anthony Richardson, he's still got one more year left on his contract after this season. They have to make a decision on his 5th-year option after his 3rd year, so after this upcoming year. And so there's still a lot to be written about Anthony Richardson's career with the Colts. And that's not to say that this move for Jones right out of the gate doesn't mean that Richardson can't come back next year and compete for the job again. So, like I said, he's just oozing with talent, oozing with potential, showed a lot of improvement in the offseason. And if you give him more time to develop and grow and mature, Anthony Richardson can still be a very good quarterback in this league. But again, time will tell. And as of right now, he's got to be the number 2 quarterback. He took it with a lot of class. Again, he's 23 years old. showed a lot of maturity in how he handled this situation, handling it with grace, saying all the right things, going to be there for his teammates. The body language in practice the last couple of days has been really good. So I give him a lot of credit for, how he's handled this situation, and I think he will continue to grow and develop sort of behind the scenes now that Daniel Jones is this team's starting quarterback for this season, according to head coach Shane Steichen.
Talking some Indianapolis Colts with the voice of the team, Matt Taylor, here on the Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in and looking in the backfield. I feel like people just tend to sleep on Jonathan Taylor after a couple injury-plagued seasons. Last year, he only did play in 14 games, but still finished 4th in the league in rushing yards. How's he looking in camp this year?
He's looking really strong. And again, Jonathan Taylor is in the prime of his career. Like you said, last year, 1,400 yards. But, the reality is the Colts became a little bit Jonathan Taylor centric down the stretch. And that's, not to criticize them at all, because you want to ride your best player. And I'm not really advocating taking carries away from a top 5 running back in the NFL. But the truth of the matter is, twice in his career, Jonathan Taylor has been over 1,400 rushing yards. And in those seasons, the Colts haven't made the playoffs, neither year. So, again, you've got to have more balance within this offense. It's all about the quarterback making 4 to 5, game-winning throws from the pocket every Sunday. And so if the Colts can get that this year from Daniel Jones and kind of, I would say, better complement the running game with Jonathan Taylor, then I think you really have something. Because, again, skill player-wise, you got 3 receivers last year who are over 800 yards. You've got Tyler Warren, the premium draft pick in the first round to help balance the passing game, especially over the middle of the field like we talked about. I mean, I think you really have something offensively if you can get some more consistency in the passing game to help Jonathan Taylor. And, again, Taylor last year with his workload, he averaged 21 carries per game. That was the highest workload in the NFL. And if you look at the last 6 or 7 weeks, over half of his carries for the season came down the stretch last year. So, again, there's a way to win every game. There's no question about that. I mean, sometimes you got to give it to your running back 20-plus times in a game and shrink the game and go on long drives and get into the end zone. But it's a lot easier if that passing game is helping out the running game. And it's hard to score touchdowns on 10, 12-play drives. Sometimes you got to score with some big plays down the field in the passing game and let those receivers do some of that dirty work.
You touched on first-round pick Tyler Warren, and that just seemed like the perfect selection for the Colts this season. I remember reading about him and some of the usage he'd had at Penn State being moved all over the field. Is that continuing at the pro level with the Colts, or are they trying to maybe keep it a little simpler for him?
No, I think you're going to see, and I think they've showed enough to display that there's going to be some creativity on offense with Tyler Warren. And I think they've intentionally held some stuff back in training camp in front of the fans and what they've put on film in preseason games. Tyler Warren's going to line up all over the place, and that's what he did at Penn State. He lined up in the backfield, lined up at tight end. They split him in the slot. They split him out wide. He ran the ball. This guy can do everything. So if you not to nerd out on you, but if you roll out there with 2 tight ends on offense, that's like playing with 3 wide receivers too. Right? Because he can catch the ball and has so much versatility. So I think he's going to really feast in the middle part of that field and help out that problem for the Colts in the passing game. That's where Daniel Jones is really accurate in the middle of the field. And I think we kind of have to recalibrate our expectations a little bit with Tyler Warren, because now we know who his quarterback's going to be, and he's taking to the NFL like a fish in water. So it would not shock me at all to see him catch 60, 70 balls right away as a rookie and have some big timely catches, third down, red zone, have him run the ball a couple of times, line him up as a wildcat. There's just like an infinite number of things that Tyler Warren can do because of his versatility and his skill set playing the tight end position.
I want to ask you about some more of the passing options that the Colts have this year. And Michael Pittman Jr., obviously, he's been very good, and Alex Pierce been very reliable. But Adonai Mitchell was selected in the 2nd round this past year, 2 years ago. How do you feel about the receiver room as a whole?
I think it's really deep. I think it's really, really good. It's probably the best it's been for the Colts in quite some time. Got Michael Pittman Jr., who's their number 1. But then you have some deep threats. You've got Alec Pierce. You mentioned Adonai Mitchell. Pierce last year led the NFL actually in yards per catch at 22.3. Then you have Josh Downs, who's a very reliable and savvy, high football IQ slot receiver. He's coming back. You've got Ashton Doolin and Anthony Gould, who round out that receiving core as guys that are projected to make the 53 regular season roster. So it's a very, very good receiving core. Like I said, they had 3 receivers last year, over 800 yards. And Michael Pittman Jr. played most of the season banged up. He had a back injury that kind of flared up at, around week 4, week 5, that he just kind of played through and gutted through. It was a nagging problem for him all season. And he won't make excuses, but I'll make it for him. I mean, it kind of hampered his production and what you saw out of him last year. But now that he's come back and he's healthy going into the regular season, I think you kind of just go ahead and pencil in 1,000 yards for him. You definitely have the big playability coming back again for Alec Pierce. And that's sort of a sneaky storyline for the Colts in the passing game, is that, yes, Daniel Jones is overall more accurate than what the Colts had last year, but they're trying to tap into his potential to be able to push the ball down the field. Historically, you haven't seen that from him throughout the course of his career, but that's not to say that he can't do it and that the Colts don't need that within the offense. So, again, I still think you're going to see those deep shots to kind of relax the defense, or I should say widen them out, kind of spread the box out. And just the threat of those big plays from Pierce and Mitchell is going to help out this pass game. So the Colts are very healthy, both figuratively and literally, going into the season at that wide receiver position.
I don't want to take up too much more of your time, and I hate to overlook the defense, but when you look just at this team and the division they're in, obviously we know the success that the Houston Texans have had in the past couple of years here. I mean, the Jags and the Titans a little bit lowly, I would think. Where do you think they finish in the division this upcoming season?
I don't think there's any reason to think that they can't compete. I mean, you look at the last couple of years, they've finished 9-8, 8-9, either a game or a half game out of actually winning the division itself. I mean, you go back to 2 years ago, they played a Week 18, essentially winning your in game against the Houston Texans that came down to the wire. The Colts had a 4th and 1 in the red zone, under a minute to go, and couldn't complete a pass. And had they completed that pass and gone on to score a touchdown there, they win the game. They beat the Texans, and they probably win in fact, I know they win the division had they won that game, and then they would have made the playoffs and hosted a playoff game. So, that's how close the Colts have been. I mean, I mentioned that they have missed the playoffs 4 consecutive seasons, and in 3 of those 4 years, they've won at least 8 games. So they are the NFL's definition of purgatory, right? Right there in the middle. Not good enough to make the playoffs, but obviously nowhere near bottoming out because the roster around the quarterback has just been too good. And so they're trying to get over the hump this year. Last year, the Texans won the division. They've won the division 2 years in a row. But those battles with Houston for the Colts have just been, they've meant everything. Last year, the Colts got swept by Houston, and they lost the 2 games by combined 5 points, right? So they've been in just a ton of close games. They played in 13 one-score games last year, and they all come down to the wire. And so this offseason was about how do we win in the fourth quarter? How do we, make more plays in the final 4 minutes of these games, which it's all coming down to that, crunch time period. And how do we get a little bit more consistency out of our quarterback on offense in those fourth quarter clutch moments? So I don't think there's any reason to think that they can't compete for the AFC South. I don't think Houston's going anywhere, but I also don't think they're going to run away with the division. Jacksonville's going to be better. I just think these 6 AFC South games that the Colts play this year are going to be so big, and they're going to have so much magnitude about them because there's going to be so much parity in the division that, those division games that count as 2, right? You win, they lose, or vice versa. That's going to be the biggest deciding factor in who wins this division this year.
Well, Matt, we really appreciate the rundown today. That was fantastic, and it should be a great season for the Colts. Looking forward to it. And enjoy the season, the final preseason game, and then the rest of the regular year.
I appreciate you guys. All the best.
There you go. That is the voice of the Indianapolis Colts, Matt Taylor, joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Should be a lot of fun. That storyline is something that I wasn't just saying. I've really been intrigued by following training camp and the preseason. And, when you have a guy like Anthony Richardson, Wanye, 4th overall pick, was expected to come in here and take over for that franchise, just hasn't worked. And for different reasons, silly mistakes, injuries, taking himself out of a game, which really doesn't happen very often from fatigue by an NFL quarterback.
For fatigue?
Fatigue. Tapped himself out last year. So those are the things it's kind of like, okay.
Is that code talk for an injury, though, he didn't want to disclose? Like, I blew my knee out, I'm going to call it fatigue?
Maybe, but typically then I feel like the team would probably try to cover that up for you. Don't you think? Like, okay, you know, he was hurt. That wasn't the way it went down. So it was a little weird.
It is weird.
Anyways, we'll take a break. When we come back, speed things up at the Cantor Racing Report with Colin Livingston of Cantor. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. Also streaming Oilers Nation Facebook, YouTube, and X. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
The Midsummer Sales Event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. The all-new redesigned 2026 XC90 is here. Test drive the ultimate evolution in luxury. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 from 0.49% and save $5,000. Finance or lease a 2026 XC40 from 2.99%. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. The Midsummer Sales Event is on now at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. With state-of-the-art motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation. Our seatbelt-equipped buses have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Rivalries run deep in Alberta football.
Edmonton all the way.
Calgary rules. But when it comes to the best snack for three-down fun, there's no Battle of Alberta. It's a clear winner.
Wilhock Beef Jerky.
The one thing every Alberta fan agrees on. So whether you're watching the game from your recliner or in the stands, make it a part of your game day.
Wilhock Beef Jerky. Because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Tee off to win with Cattail Crossing's $10,000 hole-in-one challenge, powered by Sports 1440, Canada's first ever Aqua Range event. Just walk up, grab some golf balls, and start swinging. Or book a VIP bay today. Win 10 grand with a hole-in-one. Plus, great secondary hole and leaderboard prizes. Closest to the pin and monthly winners will battle for a $50,000 grand prize. The hole-in-one challenge. Open Thursday to Sunday, noon till 8 through August. Weather permitting, cattailcrossing.ca.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
McDonald's sundaes and snack-size shakes are $2, or get $1 cones exclusively on the McDonald's app. With those prices, your hands are going to be full of treats. Like Alex here.
My phone.
I got you. App download and registration required. At participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Landscaping this summer? Call Bashaw Concrete Products. That's right. More than concrete. Their landscaping division has everything you're after. A huge selection of P-rock, washed rock, and sand. Gray limestone, red shale, mulch, compost, landscape fabric, and topsoil. Plus, the full line of Barkman products, including pavers, retaining wall blocks, fire pits, and precast planters. Landscape products made for your outdoor living space. Residential or commercial, start here. BashawConcrete.com and follow them on Facebook.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan. For all your residential water needs, your local water treatment company. More than just big bottles, it's Culligan.com.
Sports Radio is back. The Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Tonight, it is the $1,000 a day for the next 20 years. That's $7.3 million. Go get your ticket, PlayAlberta.ca. Also, when you make a deposit, use code word Gregor50. With that $50 free bet. And that's once a month. So every month it resets. PlayAlberta.ca. Right now, we're going to speed things up in the Cantor Race Report with Colin Livingston, brought to you by Cantor. What's the best way to beat tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantor, not only in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Colin, how you doing today?
I'm racing.
You're on the way out tomorrow, right?
Oddly enough, yeah. I mean, I got in the middle of a personal project over at my ex-wife's gym, doing some rewiring of some light fixtures, and wasn't really paying attention to the clock. And then all of a sudden, it's like, got to use those qualifying skills that I've developed over the last 18 years to get over here on time. But no, things are good.
And you were thirsty, and it just happened to be Thirsty Thursday, which is always a benefactor for you coming in at 3:40 on Thursdays.
Gregor didn't do that by mistake.
No,
he knows his client being me, and we actually spend quite a bit of time over more time than money, or more money than time, I should say, at Sherbrooke. They've got so many for me great selections of vodka and tequila that we always like trying something new. But I always like trying to find something affordable, and they've got these, unbelievably good selections for like under $30 a bottle.
Yeah.
Which for racetrack and for more frequent consumption is pretty awesome.
I saw that they had some tequila in their Instagram story today, so I thought, okay, maybe it's coming in. And then when David rolled any of the beers, like, okay, little sippy ones. It's pretty good selection today. I would highly recommend go checking it out. And let them know.
Again, I like beer far more than it likes me as a gout sufferer, but the blueberry is spectacular.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And the raspberry one, just kind of I don't know what Strutty would say, like the flavor explosion in your mouth.
There's a flavor explosion in my mouth.
Bouquet of flavor. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So you're on the road tomorrow, heading out to Montreal. What's coming up there?
Well, hoping that Air Canada honors my ticket, and I'm not one of those that gets bumped, but with my status, I'm hoping that secures me on the plane. But a very, very busy weekend for us. 2 weeks ago, we were at GP3R running 3 cars, 3 different series. This weekend, we're running 2 different series, but at 2 different locations. So it's one thing to be at one track. NASCAR Canada, we're running at Circuit iCar on the former, candidly, probably the most expensive racetrack pretty much anywhere in the world, including Formula One. Well, it wasn't a racetrack. It was the Mirabel Airport. It was built to replace Dorval. And the locals said, no, we don't like this. And, since it was an airport, it's there's one runway still active for Bombardier and for some cargo flights, but otherwise it's just a racetrack. So yeah, it wasn't intended to be that way, but really, really great for fans. Any kind of airport circuit has great visibility because there's really nothing in the way. Obviously, airports, you don't want buildings and structures between taxiways and runways and stuff like that. So great views no matter where you sit. Being that I race with Alex, we've had great success there. Really, really bad luck the last couple of goes, but I have a really, really, really good feeling about this weekend.
Now you're trying to avoid any engine problems, correct?
With the
typically that's a thing
in the other series that we're going to be running. Yes, because the last 2 races, we were at Atlantic Motorsport Park in the SPC car just outside of Halifax. Didn't get to qualify before we had an engine issue. GP3R with the same car had an engine issue. Didn't get to qualify. So we're hoping more than anything, not for us, but for Jacques Ravel, the guy who owns the team, owns the car, hoping that we can actually show what this thing, can do. But it's going to be busy. I mean, driving from Montreal to Calabogie, just outside of Ottawa, and then back later on that night. But this is what we love to do. And we know we've only got, for us, we've only got 2 weeks left.
And then next weekend, you guys are at Canadian Tire Motorsport, north of Oshawa.
Correct. Yeah. That'll be, for us, that's our last race of the season. In NASCAR, the rest of the season are oval races, so that'll be handled by our partner Donald Teege. And then, yeah, I mean, for us, NASCAR's over. We have one more SBC race at the end of the year at Tremblant. Go-karts will be over in 2 weeks. So yeah, it's cool out there, and racing's coming to a close.
Time of year, football season picking up, everything else, and those end. And Colin Livingston joining us here at the Cantor Race Report. Now, IndyCar at Milwaukee, one of your favorite tracks?
Definitely one of my favorite ovals. I mean, nothing beats Indianapolis Motorsport Park, but for a non-Indy Indy 500 track, Milwaukee is very tough to beat. Always provides great racing. It's crazy. Like they hit, I should know this. It's a 1 mile oval. They'll hit 180 to 185 miles an hour on the straightaway. Like insanely fast. They'll be going through the corners at probably 155, 160 miles an hour. Like they just never, ever get a break. One of the neat things about this weekend is on after qualifying, they're running a practice session just for rubbering in the high line. So they give the teams an extra set of tires. They ask them to run a really high downforce package. They'll actually block off a lot of the lower part of the track. You don't have to go out, but it's highly encouraged that you go out. And they're just going to run on the outside to try and get some rubber laid down. So by the time the race hits on Sunday, you should theoretically be able to run too wide in the corners, which makes racing a lot better.
Now, the championship has been clinched already?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was settled last week, or the last race, whatever that was, 2 weeks ago now. So Alex Palou is now a 4-time champion. Just crazy, crazy awesome year. And I also neglected to mention, we got so wrapped up. Well, I was a little self-serving and self-indulgent last week that we really only talked about our racing, but neglected to mention that it was Andrew Ranger that got the win at GP3R. And, I mean, obviously Alex and I are, very, very good friends. We go a long way, but if you take Alex out of the equation, I got to say Andrew's Andrew's my favorite driver out there. He's a really, really cool guy. Once you get him out of the car, he's got a personality that never stops. And unfortunately, because we had to get to Quebec City that night, we missed the after race party because he knows how to do it right.
Yeah, it would have been a good time, I'm sure. Okay, so despite the championship being settled, there's still things that matter in the final races here. Obviously, drivers potentially looking for new teams next season. How much turnover typically is there in IndyCar?
Every year is different. This year, I think it's going to be significant. I mean, Penske, they're really trying to make room for their up-and-coming driver, David Malukas, which it seems like, as of now, Will Power's going to be the odd man out. I still think that's a mistake. Will right now is leading the points out of the Penske cars. He's the only one with a win. But yeah, I mean, this year, I think, in the offseason, there's going to be a couple of seats swapped. I mean, IndyCar, unlike, in motorsport, unlike conventional sport, is not based on performance. It's based on money.
Yeah.
You could be the greatest driver in the world, but if you don't have a sponsor to bring with the team, we'll never know your name. It's kind of counterintuitive. You still have to be a really good driver to be at IndyCar level, NASCAR level, what have you. But generally the driver hires the team, not the other way around.
Okay.
So, like Will be a very sought after driver. One of the best of all time. Yes, on paper, I can't remember how old Will is. I mean, he's in his 40s now, but still, he's got lots of racing left in him. He got the win where his younger teammates still haven't managed to put it together. So, again, it'd be interesting to see what happens here when, for Will, it sounds like his deal, he can't start talking to new teams until September 1st. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of speculation that deals are already done, but we just won't hear about them until the legal hurdles have been cleared.
Is there a tampering penalty for those sorts of things?
There sure can be.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, Alex Below was rumored to be going to McLaren. He had announced that he was going. Ganassi said, hold on a second, you still have a contract. It got into the courts before Ganassi retained him. So yeah, in some cases, the contract is still enforceable, especially when it's on, when it's in the team's benefit to exercise the clauses.
And Formula One off until next week, then it is the Dutch Grand Prix.
Correct.
So we can talk about that next week.
Zandvoort. Yeah, we'll do a little little primer for that race. I mean, obviously for F1 fans, it's been 3 weeks already.
Yeah.
I think everyone's ready to see those guys get back, and then I think it's either back to back or 3 in a row for Formula One.
I might be able to tell you. It's all contingent on my computer not slowing down.
Well,
Italy.
I can pull it up because it's Zandvoort, then Monza, and I think there's one more, but I'm not 100% sure. And unfortunately, my phone is loading about as fast as your computer.
And I don't even know how to navigate this website. Have you seen the F1 movie yet?
I have not.
No. Okay, me neither. And people say really good, so it's something I do want to check out. But
I've heard surprisingly good. Just don't expect it to be a racing movie. Like it's not a documentary.
Yeah,
it's kind of a
story set with that in the background.
Adversity. So we've got Netherlands, Italy, and then there's a little break to Baku.
Okay. Well, it gives us things to worry about next week then.
Yeah. I finally figured out why Wanye isn't on camera. Like
too good looking?
Way, way, way too good looking.
Yeah.
Like I've known this for a long time. Like personally, I knew this, but I didn't really think about it until we started juggling cameras. And I know he stays off, but like I appreciate his selflessness to share the spotlight with the rest of us, because otherwise it just becomes a Wanye love in and nobody can focus on what we're talking about.
How many kids are you expecting me to have? I already have one.
Kind of looks like that guy from F1.
Kind of,
yeah.
Yeah.
The guy with all the kids?
Brad Pitt.
Oh, he's got a few kids.
He's got an army.
Yeah, he's got a few. Well,
I think they're all estranged, but he's got them all right.
Wow, numbers game. One's got to still like him.
Potentially.
He's not Nick Cannon, but he might be getting there.
Bingo.
Colin, safe travels. Hopefully you get there on time and Air Canada lets you on.
We'll have stories to tell next week.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
There's the Cantor Racing Report with Colin Livingston every Thursday, 3:40, give or take, here on the Jason Gregor Show. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll get to your text, get to the oil report, 5 questions, and more. But right now, a Sports 1440 update with Declan Kruger, brought to you by Cattail Crossing. Glow Up and Golf Under the Stars Night Golf is on every second Friday and Saturday. Grab your glow gear and let's light up the fairways at Cattail.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Finals from the majors earlier today with the A's over the Twins 8-3, Royals over the Rangers 6-4, and the Brewers over the Cubbies 4-1. Games in action right now. See the Dodgers leading the Rockies 9-5 in the top of the 9th. Nationals leading the Mets 5-3 in the bottom of the 6th, and the Giants trailing the Padres 8-2 in the top of the 6th. Little League World Series, one final from earlier, saw Santa Cruz Aruba beating Venezuela 3-1. Los Nevada and South Carolina will get going in about an hour's time here. Tour Championship, Russell Henley is on top of the leaderboard at 9 under. Scotty Scheffler second at 7 under. And the highest ranked Canadian, Nick Taylor, tied for 12th at 3 under. In the CPKC Women's Open, a 4-way tie for first. Gabby Lopez, Megan Kang, Yan Liu, and Aphrodite Dang, the Canadian, all tied at 5 under. News around the sporting world was the Chicago Blackhawks have signed Frank Nazar to a 7-year contract extension with $46.13 million. 21-year-old center has played just 56 career games, and the SEC will play a 9-game conference schedule starting in 2026. The league announced it today and calls it a historic move they've been considering for years. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been Sports 1440 Update.
1440, Stingray Radio Station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Some people wake up and get dressed for work in a suit and tie or a nice dress. At GS Construction, we're less fashion forward and more putting our best foot forward. We wear hard hats and steel toe boots, and most importantly, we wear 50 years of experience with pride. It's not glamorous, it's definitely not easy, but it matters. We do it well. So if you'd like to be part of something where your work matters, GS Construction is hiring. Just remember, when you come for an interview, ditch the tie. See more at gsconstruction.ca.
McDonald's Sundays and snack size shapes are $2 or get $1 cones exclusively on the McDonald's app. With those prices, your hands are going to be full of treats. Like Alex here.
My phone.
I got you. App download and registration required. At participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
How's your summer so far? Are you zipping around in your new truck from Wolf GMC Buick? If not, you should be. GMC employee pricing continues through August on our entire 2025 GMC Sierras, including the Sierra HD lineup. But just August. Who knows what September brings? Costco members save an additional $1,200 on our 2025 Buick lineup and all our new GMC Terrain. We're here for a good time, not forever. Buy the new reliable vehicle and treat yourself. Employee pricing, 0% financing at Wolf GMC Buick.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. At Papa John's, get a large one-topping pizza for just $14.99. Use promo code L1499 at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
He's not just another pair of glasses. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for checking out Edmonton Sports 1440.
Presented by playalberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz, Stephen Kruger, and Josh Fenwick with you here. Jason Gregor Show brought to you by playalberta.ca. It's $1,000 daily grant. Thursday daily grant. $1,000 a day for the next 20 years. Mathematically, that tells me that's $7.3 million. Get over to playalberta.ca. Give it a go if you'd like to give it a shot. Also, when you make your deposit, make sure you put in code word Gregor50. Get a $50 free play. Maybe you want to live bet this Dodgers-Rockies game. I don't think you can because it's probably over. Dodgers lead the Rockies 9-5 in the top of the ninth. But Wanye, it'd almost be a sure thing.
A sure thing in this day and age?
There's no sure things. There's no sure things. Use your game sense. Game sense AB.ca. Yeah, you got to take off a little bit earlier, so we are going to get to 5 questions in a few minutes once Declan Kruger makes his triumphant return back to the studio.
Of course.
You got to go pick up Wanye Jr.
Wanye Jr. yesterday when I arrived, and he's 4, so we have to keep that in mind, was not impressed that he was one of the last kids at daycare to get picked up. He said, "Where were you?" I said, "I was on the radio." And he said, "Get here quicker." And I said, "You can only do a radio show during the hours of the radio show.
Yeah.
You can't do a 4:06 radio hit at 6 p.m.
He's the boss.
And he said, "Get here quicker." I said, "Yes, sir.
You got to know those things."
I'll be here earlier tomorrow, sir."
We touched on it briefly there with Zach Lang at the start of the show, but Team Canada goaltending competition. Now, when they released their roster, since a 3-man roster, it was the whole roster for the camp down in Calgary. Only 3 names were on it: Binnington, Hill, and Montembeault, which to me seemed a little bit crazy just because you had so many skaters going down, and then you're just like, 3 goalies, that's it. This camp isn't on ice. It doesn't seem like it's going to be, make or break for these guys. But you think of Logan Thompson, Darcy Kemper, and even Stuart Skinner was brought up. What do you think the chances are that someone could supplant them on this roster? Because we saw, going back to 2002, Jerome McGinley forced himself onto the team.
Well, unless someone's going to play lights out hockey, like Stuart Skinner recording 6 consecutive shutouts or some crazy thing, wouldn't you assume that the goal is going to be drawn from one of those 3?
I would think so.
Yeah.
I mean, Logan Thompson last year, I think should have been in the discussion when we got to the Four Nation faceoff. Didn't happen. They won gold. I think Jordan Binnington, unless it goes downhill from what he did in the gold medal game, especially in overtime, probably forced his hand. Like, yeah, I'm going to be here. But you never know what's going to happen when someone could show up and kind of steal the show, as they say.
It'd be awesome if somebody played so well they played their way onto the team.
Absolutely. It's a great story.
Better if it's Stuart Skinner.
Well, for us, I suppose. Gives us more of a things to talk about.
Well, just that would mean the Oilers having an awesome season.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, things would be going in the right direction. And that's what I hope to see. I want to see smooth sailing. None of this 15-game losing streak stuff. No slow starts.
Do you think they're drawing from a substantially weaker goalie pool than in former Olympics is?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think different eras. In the past, like, when you were sending Martin Brodeur and Curtis Joseph, who else would have been going there? Like Sean Burke, I think, represented for a while. Patrick Waugh, Carey Price. But Binnington got the job done at Four Nations. So I guess he's won a Stanley Cup. You believe he can do it again.
I think the whole league has changed, and we've talked about this before, but the amount of franchise goalies playing in the game isn't the same as the Patrick Waugh era, isn't the same as the Martin Brodeur era. So maybe that's reflected in the Olympic rosters as well. Who would be the American starting goalie?
I mean, I would think Connor Halley. Yeah. But Ottinger could push. They got some good goalies down there.
I never think of Connor Halley as being American.
He's in Winnipeg.
He's one of us.
He should get his Canadian citizenship.
He should get his Canadian citizenship.
Then he could be Canadian. Why don't we get to 5 questions now? You got to take off a little bit early, so we'll get to 5 questions now on the show. The mattress sale of your dreams down at the Brick. You can buy any Springwell mattress at $379 or more, and you get the matching box spring for just $99. Get free local delivery when you purchase any mattress on your Flexity card at the Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
Okay, question number 1. Derek Rose had his jersey retirement date set by the Bulls today. Who is an athlete that you would like to see get their jersey retired?
Quick, just want to clarify. Is this, we want to be there in person? We want to see it happen in the future? A retired player who hasn't had it retired? What's the parameters?
Yeah. I was thinking someone who hasn't had their jersey retired yet that you would like to see get retired. Because obviously a lot of the active players, like it's to be written, but someone who hasn't retired, someone who has retired who hasn't had their jersey retired yet.
At the risk of dividing the room and being unpopular, I would like Connor McDavid's jersey to be retired when he retires.
Well, but that obviously that's going to happen.
Right, and I'll be happy to see it. Just like I'll be happy for Derek Rose, a guy I've never knowingly watched for a minute of his life.
For the Chargers, Phillip Rivers is one I'd like to see retired. Guy in the future. Speaking of basketball, Kyle Lowry with Toronto. I'm assuming that's a lock to happen. And if you're doing one in Edmonton for fun, how about Ryan Smith? I know it won't happen, but Ryan Smith.
How about the Iceman? Isaac Howard. Howard. Should we retire his number? Is that too soon, Declan?
You got to play one game.
Shedeur Sanders got his jersey retired in college.
He revived that program, man. I got no problem with either of those.
Really?
Guys. Yeah, no. That program was 1-11. Interesting. Before they got there.
Interesting.
9-win season, top 25 finish.
Okay. Almost won a bowl game.
Almost won a bowl game.
Would have happened no matter what, even if his dad wasn't running the program, right?
Well, Travis getting his retired regardless makes sense. He won a Heisman winner and played 80% of the snaps.
That one I can agree with.
Shedeur, I get there's a little bit more pushback on that one, but I'm still cool with it.
Do you think the Lakers should retire Bronny James, given all of his success in the G League?
I'll tell you what. If he makes one All-Star game, we can talk.
Do you think Bronny will be back in the league?
Yeah.
I think so too.
He's not that bad.
He's actually played reasonably well in the G League.
He's pretty bad, but he's not that bad. You know what I mean? Like, there's a spot for him.
All right.
Just quickly, Lance had texted in Zetterberg for the Red Wings, I would assume. I saw online that Sergei Fedorov was the 4th quickest Red Wing to have their jersey retired. So they make you wait. Because when I heard Fedorov, my first thought was Shouldn't have that been done years ago? But apparently the Red Wings organization makes you wait. So Zetterberg probably could be there, but it might take time.
Who were the first three?
Probably Yzerman, Lidstrom, and Gordie Howe, I would think. Maybe someone going back in the day, another Red Wings legend, but yeah, takes time.
Question number 2. Today is Wilt Chamberlain's birthday. In honor of that, where does he rank in terms of all-time NBA greats for you?
I'd like to ask you this question first, Declan.
5th.
5th? Wow. I'll throw him at lucky number 7.
I mean, I've never seen the man play it.
Right.
I've seen Derrick Rose play more than I've seen Wilt Chamberlain. I haven't. Is that 100-point game real?
Yeah.
It is?
I believe it.
You think so? Because that would, to me, have a lot to do with where he is in the top 5.
I believe
if you legitimately dropped 100 points, you deserve top 5 consideration.
It wasn't that uncommon at that period in time for games to not be televised. Like, it was a relatively regular occurrence for the state of the league at that time.
So you don't think it could be hyperbole that he scored 100 points? In fact, it was 60?
No. One of my favorite trends is whenever there's video, some weird thing pop up, and we're like, yeah, but still no Wilt 100.
I'd put him in the top 5.
The question number 3. Would you rather win a league championship in your favorite sport or win an Olympic gold medal in your favorite sport? And Connor, you're a football guy. Obviously, it's a little different in the Olympics. So we'll say, Super Bowl or gold medal in your second favorite sport. And then, as a two-parter, how far apart are they to you in terms of importance?
Like in terms of legacy? Or
yeah, like, because there's some hockey players you could go to, and it's like, it's 50-50. They want to win the cup and gold medal 50-50 for their country. Some it's like 80-20. Some it's 90-10, whatever the divide may be. So, yeah.
For me, I'd rather see my team win a league championship. Like, I'd rather see the Chargers win a Super Bowl than Canada win gold at the Olympics. I've seen that already a few times. So at this point in my life, I want to see something I haven't seen before. In terms of, I think league is more important to your legacy, because you look at, let's say, like Charles Barkley. People always bring up that he never won a league championship. He never did that. When you go represent your country, especially someone who's that good, you're playing with a stacked team. Like, he was part of the dream team, right?
Led the team in scoring.
So, like, he was a damn good player. And when he had the cast, obviously he could win. But we never hear it on the flip side. Like, well, so-and-so never won a gold medal for the Olympic team. So I think that in terms of importance, it's doing it on your own with your team, where there could be potentially salary cap restraints involved, and you have to be the guy. So I think winning it in your professional league is a little more important to the legacy.
I think you hit upon a good fact in that series of facts, and that is we've seen gold medals before in men's ice hockey, the Olympics. Now, I love the Olympics. No other medals matter to me other than the women and men's hockey. Like, I don't care, with all due respect to all the awesome Olympians working around the clock for 4 years for a quick event, the hockey means the most. Having said that, the Oilers to me means much more than an Olympic gold.
See, but I was going about it like if you guys were the athletes.
I get to be an Oiler?
Yeah. Like, you're a hockey player. Would you rather win a Stanley Cup with the Oilers or a gold medal?
Stanley Cup, baby.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of still going that route. It'd be cool to do both for sure. Like, it'd be super envious of, Sidney Crosby, Corey Perry, Getzlaff, those guys who've done both, Niedermeyer. But if I had to pick one, I think probably, the Lombardi or Lord Stanley would be top.
All right, question number 4 talks to Matt Taylor earlier. How many games does Daniel Jones play for Indy this year? And what does Anthony Richardson's future look like?
You want to take this one?
Well, these are tough ones for a guy like me, Declan. You're very in the weeds here on me for the NFL.
Anthony Richardson's future, I think this is what he needs. And I wish this was what they would have done to start his career at 21. Like I said, was it 13, 14 starts at the University of Florida? He needed more time. And that's why you're seeing guys like Bo Nix or, guys who play a lot of games in college come to the NFL. And obviously they just hit the ground running because they've seen more defenses. They've taken more snaps. They've kind of gone through the ringer. Richardson needed to sit and watch, I thought, for a while. And that just wasn't the case. They kind of rushed him out there and things didn't go well. So I think this is the best case for him. I hope he gets a chance to sit for a while. If they are committed to Richardson, I think he's the starter after the bye week. I don't know if teams look at it the same way that I do, because I've said that with the Browns thing as well. Like, you get to the bye week, okay, let's turn the corner here. Let's make the switch. We have a little extra time. It's not a game week. We can do this at practice and make it happen. But the Colts got the Dolphins, which could be tough. Broncos should be the Titans, I would think. Raiders, yeah, like their schedule isn't the easiest, but I think they'll make the switch and get Richardson back in by week 12.
Now, I do have some stats for you here.
Sure.
Of the 55 quarterbacks that have 175 attempts the last 2 years, Anthony Richardson is 55th in accuracy, 55th in completion rate, and 50th in TD to interception ratio.
So there's 5 worse.
Does that change your mind at all?
I mean, if that makes me think, just like the longer he sits out, probably the better. The more he can just sit back and kind of develop in the way other quarterbacks have in the past would probably be most beneficial for him. But I also think there is that balance of, you have to eventually get out there and learn. You have to go out there and do it. Who are you more committed to, Daniel Jones or the guy you drafted 4th overall just 2 years ago, who is still just 23 years old? And that's like Declan, we saw him at Florida, right? Like there was reason to be excited.
We barely
1 year
500 quarterback.
Yeah,
I think he might be donezo.
You think he's on his way out?
I think not quite, but I think it's like he's the Titanic a little bit.
I think best case for him would be, and it sucks, but new team, backup,
definitely new team
behind a proven quarterback where you're not going in and just go to school, like learn from a really good OC and coach.
There's also somebody said like if you can't beat out Daniel Jones for a starting job, like the New York, it's that Moneyball line. The New York Giants are paying Daniel Jones $40 million not to play for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
That's the dream.
Question number 5. Give me your Mount Rushmore of ways to emasculate somebody.
Oh, this is very dark, Declan.
Well,
it's Positive Friday.
Well, it's Thursday.
It's Torturous Thursday. I don't think you should be emasculating people, quite honestly. But if you have to, pat them on the head, call them bud, call them big guy, or give them the finger guns and wink at them when they talk to you. Just go, oh yeah.
I always like the Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec, like when someone's getting a little too chummy, mess up their name intentionally. I think that'd be a good way to do so. I'm with you, Wanye. I mean, this was a tough one for me. I'm trying to think. Call them a different name. I think when if you're out for dinner in like a public setting, you grab the bill. That can be a way to emasculate someone.
You're a really nice guy, so this isn't in your wheelhouse. Pretend it's a wedding photographer that wants a meal at your wedding.
Oh, don't buy their, don't give them food.
His eyes darken. It's very strange, Declan, to see him up close. You bring up his trigger.
It's the entitlement is what it is. I don't know.
Give them a rose.
But would that really do anything?
It's fighting words.
That's all I got. I don't have too many, Doug, and I'm like, I don't know if you put more research into this one.
Why did this come up, Doug?
Yeah, I got
negative. Are you trying to emasculate people?
So the top one, you touched on touched on Wanye.
Lota.
Excuse me, forced to habit. Calling someone buddy. That's number 1.
Or bud is even more insulting than buddy. Like, good one, bud. If I hear that from a fellow Albertan, them's punching words.
I was thinking like when someone's barbecuing and you're kind of over their shoulder, telling them they're not doing it right, and you take over. That would be on there. Helping a man off a boat and then changing someone else's tire.
If somebody helped me off a boat, I would say, thank you, fellow nautical
You
enthusiast.
gotta get off that boat yourself. And changing someone's tire.
Were you in the Merchant Marines on top of it all, Declan? How do you have a boat code?
Man, like that's just a crazy, like another dude holding your hand, taking you off the boat. Come on, what are we doing?
A good friend.
And I'm not talking like, and boats are pretty. You just step onto the dock. You know what I mean?
I've fallen off boats you shouldn't fall off because they're wiggling away.
But there are rails you can grab. You don't need another.
There's a
you don't need
canoe.
another guy like holding your hand, walking you down.
I fell out of a canoe. Where's my railing there?
Canoes are different for sure.
Maybe you could call people beta. Very beta behavior there, Declan.
Oh dear.
That is emasculating.
That one's not terrible.
What about somebody like ruffling your hair?
That was a really good one. Like when you said pat on the head, if someone ruffled my hair, my goodness, I would never feel the same.
If you were taller than them and they're reaching for something, let me get that for you.
That's a good one.
But I'm not taller than many people, so.
Someone tried to pat me on the head. I'd bite them like a junkyard dog.
Having them pay for your meal as well. You said that one, Connor? That's
Yeah.
a good one. I like that one. That one's good.
If you're in a meeting, it's complimentary.
It's like on The Sopranos. One of Meta's Flings tries to pay for Tony's meal, and he's not happy about it.
Really?
Yeah. He apologizes later, but yeah.
Pay for my meal. I'll give you a pat on the head and say, thank you, friend. Let me help you out of that boat, I'd say.
Lance says my go-to is saying, I bet you feel really proud with yourself.
I don't know. That one, not as much. That one to me, it's like, if someone said that to me, is like, okay, I got the better of you and you don't know what else to say. So you're saying that.
I love the, in sports, when the bigger guy does the whole little hand gesture, like too small or whatever.
That's a great, that should have been the number one pick.
But again, I'm 5'8", maybe and a quarter. Who am I doing that to? Brandon? He's like the only guy I'm taller than. And I'm barely taller than him. So I wouldn't do that.
Smoking's no longer as cool as it used to be. But did you know if you try to light an Australian man's cigarette for him, that's like fighting moves? Like they take it to be a huge insult.
I believe it.
I saw two guys fight outside a bar in London once because of it. And I didn't understand where the beef came from. They're like, lighting another guy's smoke in Australia is like the kiss of death.
Well, I could see that even here.
Another good one is when someone, like if Connor asked you a question and then I just answered it, that would be a good one.
Mansplaining?
Yeah.
Actually.
Oh. The long blink?
We've done a whole segment on this.
No, I don't like that.
It's really just disrespecting each other is what it is at the end of the day.
Well, some of them weren't intentionally disrespectful. Like some of them are kind gestures that do a match. Like changing someone's tire. That's not inherently disrespectful.
That's nice.
But if you're sitting there watching another dude change your tire, like you got to be feeling a little
What if he's paid?
Yeah. I mean, well, listen, like there's nothing wrong with calling AAA or taking your car to a mechanic, but like not changing a tire yourself.
I'd call the guy.
No, you get down there and do it.
No.
Wanye, that's going to do it for our time this week. I believe you're out of town.
Out of town tomorrow, but I can be here on a Monday if you want.
Absolutely. Do you know where you're going?
Tomorrow?
Yeah. Are you allowed to say?
I'm just working.
Oh, I thought you said out of town.
No. I'm just working tomorrow afternoon. I couldn't take every single afternoon this week off.
To play radio.
Well, good times. I'm having a good time if everyone else is.
Well, we'll do it again on Monday.
Sounds good, boys.
There you go. Wanye Gretz of Oilers Nation co-hosting here on the Jason Gregor Show. I just got a text from TR. He's going to join us in the next segment. I'll take a look around the sporting world. And then we've got Speck, Kevin Radomski from the Edmonton Oil Kings. Lots to get to here still on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, and Josh Fenwick with you here. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
Noodle, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, noodle, nood. Noodle, noodle, nood, 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 noodle, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, nood. Noodle, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, noodle, nood. Noodle, noodle, nood, 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 noodle, noodle, nood.
Trollolo down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open.
It's the Bricks mattress sale of your dreams. Score dreamy deals like up to 40% off mattresses and queen beds starting at just $269. Get select king mattresses for the price of a queen and select queen mattresses for the price of a twin. Plus, queen platform bases starting at just $299. Score 20% off metal bed frames when you buy any mattress and get free local delivery when you buy any mattress on your Flexity card. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for detail. The Brick, saving you more.
The 8th annual Oilers Nation Open tees off Friday, August 29th at 9 a.m. A Texas scramble with fellow golfers, sports fans, and maybe even a few local personalities. Great shots, cold drinks, and a great cause. Gregor's Grads. Sign up at nationgear.ca.
At On the Rocks, the party never stops.
Check it out.
Mondays, bingo tunes.
Tuesdays, tacos and tequila.
Wednesdays, it's wings and karaoke.
Shake what your mama gave ya with salsa lessons on Thursdays and the best live DJs.
Plus, live music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, along with DJ Kenny K.
Hold on, let's not forget
$5 happy hour, 7 days a week.
Your bar, your party. You're on the rocks.
On the rocks.
Chat West Brab and 118th.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV. Our average used RV sells for around 30 grand. Some are more, some are less. And literally no one has 30 G's just sitting in their checking account.
Monthly payments are the best way to get the used RV that's right for your family.
That's right, Bob. Financing should be a stress-free process. But let me tell you a little secret. My granddaughters think I'm a model citizen, and I was young once. And if you look back into my credit history, you can see that it wasn't always excellent.
Perfect credit is nice, but not easily achievable.
You said it, Bob. But less than perfect credit is not a good reason to keep you from the great outdoors this season. I built our financing plans for the real world. And in the real world, nobody has a perfect credit score. So let's talk about how easy it is to make your favorite used RV affordable. As long as you promise not to tell Saxon and Goldie that I'm not perfect.
And that's no bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Jump on OTR's party shuttle buses to Elks games and concerts at Commonwealth. To see all upcoming bus events, visit ontherocksyag.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, streaming on Oilers Nation Facebook, YouTube, and X. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. The Thursday Daily Grand, $1,000 for the next 20 years, $7.3 million. Wow. Life-changing money. Head over to PlayAlberta.ca. When you make your deposit, put in Gregor 50 to get a $50 free play. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, and Josh Fenwick with you here. Big thank you to Wanye Gretz for coming in this week. He'll be back on Monday to chat us up a little bit more. Also, shout out to everyone watching on YouTube, Facebook, and X. If you are, do us a solid. Make sure you hit that like button and boost the numbers. I don't know exactly what it means, but I'm always told we got to do that. So hit that like button if you're watching out on the wire. Lance, see you guys having a pretty good conversation right now. Why don't we do this? We'll go in the room. Brought to you by Action Electrical. They're the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta with 4 divisions in project, service tag, and solar for commercial or residential. Contact them today at actionelectrical.net. We bring in former NHLer, actor, author, podcaster, Hall of Famer, Terry Ryan. TR, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Had a great night last night. We had hockey night in Brampton with a lot of current and former NHLers. Raised a lot of money. I mean, a lot, over $50 million. And ran into our good buddy Dave McCarthy in the process. It was an awesome time.
I saw that picture. I had to show the guys. Finally, you guys linking up out in Ontario. And how was it sharing the ice with Austin Matthews?
Oh, it was surreal, man. It was a great situation. Like, both teams had a lot of, usually I do these events to fundraisers, and it's guys who used to play, like alumni more than anything, and maybe some locals that played pro or junior or whatever it would be. There's not usually these situations where, I mean, half the game were players that are currently playing. A lot of NHLers there, and then a lot of major junior players. So it was really fast paced, and it came down to it. So, we were going back and forth, and guys are, it's a little bit more quick, and people were trying a little bit harder than normally at these fundraiser games. No hitting or anything, obviously, but guys were going, and Matthews took a few Matthews shots for real. And there were major junior goalies in there. So, he tested them a little bit, but it got down to the wire. So the place was packed, and I was playing with Taylor Radish and Ron McLean. And Ron obviously was a little bit slower, being 60 odd years old. And so we were getting towards the end of it. It just so happened my line was up. And Matthews was playing with Blair Turnbull, the female hockey star, and I believe Dylan Strome. And it got down to it. And then we about a minute and a half left, and it was, I think, 9-8 maybe. And we needed a goal. So Ron said, you know what, I'll sit on the bench here and Matthews can go with you. And I said, hey, you can take center then. And he goes, no, you're driving the bus. You're going to play center. I'm like, come on. So we went out there and I had a few tried to set him up, and the whole rink started to go Leafs, go. Like they were all chanting it, like, not mocking, but they were in the mood. They were in the hockey mood. And Austin went out, and I took that full shift with him, and he had a couple of real great chances. And I forget the goalie's name. I should have remembered it, but I don't remember. But he plays for the Mississauga, or he plays for the Brampton Steelheads. And he made a couple of spectacular saves. The locals loved it. Everybody loved it. We raised over, I think it was almost $60 million we raised. It was wild. It was a surreal experience. But I sat in the room. Ryan Getzlaf was on my left, and we had Jeremy Roenick, Chris Tanev, John Scott were right around me, and then at the other side was Ron McLean and Austin Matthews and Owen Nolan, and we all had a great chat before. I liked to get to the rink early, and the boys came in. Austin was great. I can't say enough about it. He was. I find on interviews, Austin Matthews looks a little bit rigid. Almost standoffish sometimes, but I didn't really ever get the sense that he was doing it out of ignorance or not wanting to speak. I think just when the camera goes on, he's maybe less laid back, because it was really awesome. He was really laid back. He was telling some stories. We have a few mutual friends, and just he would come off, and I would be sitting next to him on the bench for at least half the game. When he came off, and we had some great conversations. Said he played baseball, and told me about growing up in Arizona and the Coyotes going down from Winnipeg, how he made an impact on his life. And it was really just, it was awesome. I was kind of at a loss for words, if you can believe it, for most of the game. And afterwards we all milled together for about an hour. We hung out afterwards and exchanged pleasantries and numbers and all that with everybody, and it was a real sense of accomplishment, because we played the game, but there was some big time people and families with money that were ready to donate. And after the game, we found out that we raised almost $60 million.
That is crazy. Well done to you and the rest, everyone who's out there for the event. Now, you mentioned Matthews a couple of times, let the shot off. In your career, playing at all the levels you have, who had the best shot?
You're going to think that I'm probably saying this because he's a Newfoundlander and he's my friend, but it's tough to beat Michael Ryder's shot.
Okay.
He didn't dangle, like he's not a dangler. He's a good passer. I don't know about great. I'm talking at the NHL level. I mean, he's a 10 out of 10 and everything around, beer league, but I'm saying that compared to an average player, but I'm just saying, as far as NHL quality, and Rides was just coming in, but I knew him from around here, obviously. And I still skate with him now, and he still got that shot. Like, it's rare that you come in and just over the blue line, and you're a threat to score with just a wrist shot or a snap shot, right? He doesn't wind up much and clap it. I really don't see him ever do that. But his shot is, I'm not going to say second to none. Obviously, there have been some big time shots in the NHL, and even in the minors. Donald McLean, there's one 50-goal scorer more than once in the minors. Had a great shot. Like I said, Rides, that's his superpower almost. Because I think in most things in the NHL, Rides is above average. He'd be a 7 or 8 out of 10, but his shot is just, it's a 10 out of 10. It's pretty wild, at least in heaviness. And, he scored over 30 goals multiple times in the NHL. So, I mean, I don't think that's a fluke. You don't beat NHL goalies from the top of the circle with a wrist shot much, and Rides did it rather frequently.
That is crazy. Terry Ryan joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in for Jason. Now, I don't know if you saw this earlier today. A Canadian golfer, 15-year-old Aphrodite Dang, is shooting a 5 under 66 at the CPKC Women's Open, tied for top spot, TR. And I just want to ask you, because I know you would have had a lot of success at a young age, to do something at 15 and in a sport where you're not surrounded by teammates, an individual sport. Just absolutely ridiculous for what she's been able to do. And obviously lots of golf left in the tournament. But at 15 years old, Aphrodite Dang shooting a pretty darn good round.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that. And I tell you this, to do it at 15 or to do it, any of those, it doesn't really, the sport almost becomes irrelevant to what I'm about to say. But when you're 14, 15, 16, and you're pulling things off, and each sport is different. They have different rules and legislation behind it all, so not everybody can go out and compete at 14 or 15. But on a professional level. But whenever that's the case, I find it fascinating because to do that, you're not only showing your athleticism within that sport that you're playing, but it takes a lot of mental fortitude to go through and do that because that you're in the spotlight. Everybody's talking about you, and one of the things that you can't do anything about is your age. Right. And that just reeks of inexperienceness. Even if you don't want it to, there's just no way you can get around it. So there's a lot of eyes looking, and there's a lot of people, an unnatural amount, that are probably waiting for you to fail. So to break through that at such a young age, I think that's why it might be so rare. And to, have the mental capacity to deal with it, and not only deal with it, but succeed and thrive within those confines, I find fascinating.
So when you were lighting up the WHL as a teenager, did you think big picture? Or in that moment, or is it just like, it's hockey and we're just having fun, and this, not saying it comes easy, but it's what you do?
I was thinking big picture by then, but I was a little different as well because I left here at 14, right? At my 16-year-old year in the Western League, I'd already played 2 years of Junior A as a bantam, as a 14, 15-year-old. I never put on my skates in bantam. I didn't play bantam. I didn't play midget. I just went right from Pee-wee to junior. So that was more of a learning experience and dealing with all that. Is how am I going to do this? 14 was ultra young. 16 in the dub, rare, but happened. But where I was in Quesnel in Junior A in a mill town that people go through, and a lot of them were looking to go to the dub. Yeah, but a lot were going to NCAA and things, and it was it was older even for junior. So me being 14 and having to deal with all that, and I look back and honestly, I swear to you, I'm being objective about this. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but all the things I ever did, I look back and that was getting drafted to the NHL. Yeah, man, that takes a lot. And answering questions and having pressure and all that. But a lot of people do that. Not a lot of people play junior at 14. And I led my team in scoring and penalty minutes. I had 222 penalty minutes, I think 67 points that first year. And I look back and I'm like, of all the things I've done, I can't believe that I did that. I went back the second year and did the same thing. And I by the time I got to the Western League, it was my third year junior. And most of that, at least age relative stuff when it came to pressure and how am I going to fit in and leadership and all that, that had already happened. When I got to the WHL, I felt like a bit of a veteran. It was my third year junior. Other guys were coming in straight out of bantam. So I had a little bit of a head start. And with me, it wasn't just an age thing. I was moving all the way across the country. I had pressure. A lot of people, it's great that you went there and it was cool and you had good teammates. Yeah, I did at the end of it. And when I made the team and they ended up being better teammates. But at the start, a lot of them, I was taking someone's spot, that I knew I was going to the WHL. A lot of those guys were playing for an opportunity to get there or to the NCAA or pro or whatever. So I took a spot away from somebody. I had to really, that was a lot to deal with, a lot going on at once. And a lot of people want you to fail and you're hearing it. And not only from the media, but players on the ice, coming at me to fight. And they're 21 in some cases, and I'm 14. And that was just part of it. The mental, the physical, everything that went away. But so I was kind of forced to look big picture. I didn't really want to, and I never really saw myself as, and Newfoundlanders, we had a little bit of a defeatist attitude. There's no way we can be better than someone from Toronto. There's so many players there. Their all-star team must be better than ours. And it was like that a lot. And I never really got many chances before that to leave the island and play. And so that was a lot to deal with and have to kind of weed through on my way. But, my dad had to sit me down and I got approached by Wayne Gretzky's agent. I signed with him at 14. I'm the youngest player he ever signed. So I guess it was I had people in my life that were reiterating into my head that I had a chance to make it, that I was this big prospect. I didn't really feel it confidence-wise until it really, really started to play out. Even at the end of that first year in Quesnel, I still did. The WHL to me was like almost unachievable. And then I got there, luckily, after those 2 years junior, and it started to feel more normal. But I had to deal with all of that stuff at an ultra early age.
I don't know if you saw the news today from the Chicago Blackhawks signing forward Frank Nazar to a 7-year contract extension worth $46 million. He's appeared in just 56 games, but obviously they believe that he's got that upside. Do you like the contract for him and for the team?
I didn't hear who got the contract. Say that again.
Frank Nazar, a former first-round pick. He's 21 years old, just 56 games in the NHL so far. But to me, when you look at a deal like that, we're looking 4 or 5 years down the road. It could look like a pretty good spot for the Blackhawks.
Yeah, the Blackhawks have had the reputation of the last 2 or 3 years of being a total train wreck, at least when it comes to the standings and stuff. I mean, there's all kinds of elements to the game, obviously, but at some point you got to trust they're an NHL organization. They know what they're doing. We can talk about a lot of these players, but they're meeting them firsthand. They have one of the best prospects in sports in their organization, or at least up until this point, being Connor Bedard. They have all kinds of parts around them that are starting to present themselves. So it's a young player that I think the upside is probably uncertain, but we know that there is a lot of potential there. And I think in these cases, you just have to trust the organization. I know that on the ice, the Blackhawks have looked lost parts of the last couple of years. But the other side of all this is that I think we expected that, right? And McDavid Connor Bedard being in that, I think a lot of people maybe thought that he regressed a little bit. I'm still not really sure of that. You'd have to give me a bigger sample size. He's young, and they knew they were going to be motley. They tried to be motley to get him. So all these the parts that are filling in the blanks, I have, I'm not going to say the utmost confidence, but I have confidence that we're going to see a better team this year, and moves like signing great young players. I think you got to do it. You got to show some confidence in what you've done, and have a little bit of consistent longevity out of these guys. And I think you show your fan base and the players on the team that you're in for keeps.
Nice payday for the young man as well. TR, before we let you go, what are the plans for the weekend now?
Honestly, I just got back here being Thursday. Tomorrow I'm going to go down, and the Canada games are here still. They're here for another few days. I'm going to go down and fire up a couple of teams with a pregame speech. And then Saturday, right back up to Toronto, I'm going to watch Oasis. I'm looking forward to that. That is if they don't break up before Sunday. But I'm really, really looking forward to it. I have tickets to the concert. It's a lot of my good buddies I grew up with in Mount Pearl, and we've been looking forward to this for, decades really. But once it was announced, we had this date off on our calendar months and months ago, and I'm really looking forward to that. And then when I get back here, without getting specific, I just got a couple more opportunities on camera, and I'm writing a few things for film as well, and it'll be a more laid back end of summer / fall, but I'm still going to be fairly busy.
Excellent. Well, enjoy the weekend and enjoy Oasis. We'll talk to you on Tuesday.
Thank you, Connor. Thank you, Declan. Thank you, Edmonton, and we'll catch up again soon.
There you go. Former NHLer, star of Shoresy, author, best-selling author, Hall of Famer Terry Ryan joins us every Tuesday, Thursday here on the Jason Gregor Show. We'll take a break. When we come back, potential update on the Micah Parsons saga with the Dallas Cowboys? Maybe. We'll see. It's the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, Facebook, YouTube, and X, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Work never gets done by standing around. You have to put your words into action. And that's exactly what GS Construction does every single day. Our priorities are safety first, quality second, efficiency third. GS Construction works hard. It's true, but first comes the care, the planning, and the people. Underground infrastructure isn't just about machines and trenches and some traffic inconveniences. It's about doing things right. Find out more on what we do. Visit gsconstruction.ca.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle Noodle.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's major public unreserved equipment auction is this Friday at 9 a.m., featuring articulated dumps, backhoes, dozers, drum and pad foot packers, excavators, graders, man lifts, motor scraper, skid steers, pavers, turf mowers, wheel loaders, plus commercial trailers. Info at maauctions.com.
It's road trip season, and that means loading up on the road trip essentials like snacks, tunes, and Hondas. Sherwood Honda has fuel-efficient, dependable SUVs, hybrids, crossovers, and more to take you up, down, and all around this province and beyond. Travel in comfort and safety, going where you want to go, when you want to go, stopping to see whatever catches your imagination on the way. Summer road trips make memories that sure would last. Start yours off right at Sherwood Honda.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's next major public unreserved industrial auctions are this Thursday and Friday at 9 a.m. These major unreserved auction events include multiple auction lanes selling a large section of multi-purpose trucks, equipment, and commercial trailers. Info at maauctions.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantor. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantor's products not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at cantor.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by playalberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
So here on Sports 1440, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Josh Fenwick with you here. Jason Gregor Show brought to you by playalberta.ca. Use code word Gregor50 with your next deposit and get a $50 free bet. Remember, use your game sense, GameSenseAB.ca. Micah Parsons, of course, with the Dallas Cowboys, still not playing, still doing that little hold-in type thing. And Joseph Hoyt, friend of the show, he's been on the station before, had a tweet about an hour ago saying that Cowboys owner Jerry Jones said to Michael Irvin about the offer for Micah Parsons. When we wanted to send the details to his agent, the agent told us to stick it up our blank. Now, I don't know if that is actually what the agent said or if that's just Jerry Jones and the way he speaks, but David Mugoleta, who has done a lot of really big deals in the NFL, allegedly not too impressed with the Cowboys' offer to Micah Parsons. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know if a trade is going to get done here in the NFL for the Dallas Cowboys. Parsons, I mean, they show him sitting in practice wearing his jersey, just sitting on a chair. It's kind of sad. I kind of feel for the guy, obviously, to a certain extent. He's going to get paid. He's going to get a lot of money. And right now, he just doesn't want to risk that injury. But Declan, I don't know how this has gone on this long. It seems like, and I've said it before, I'm a broken record here. When TJ Watt got his contract extension, a player who is, 30 years old, a little more wear and tear, some injuries that he's come back from, he got the big extension from the Steelers. The money right there was set to me. Like, the contract has to be north of $40 million. Micah Parsons, I believe, quicker starts to his career than Khalil Mack, more sacks. The guy is an absolute animal on the football field. And this just cannot send a good message to teammates. We've seen CD Lamb openly tweet about it. They're just letting him sit there watch. So maybe he's in good spirits and all of that sort of thing. But now it's getting to the point where you have to worry about him playing in the first couple games of the season because he's not going to be in football shape. He hasn't taken the bumps that he has to take before getting it going. Declan, what do you think happens here with this whole saga and Parsons and the Dallas Cowboys?
Well, first of all, just pay him. Just pay him all the money. He's worth it. And also, you're a billionaire. It's not going to hurt your pockets. You end up paying all your players anyway. You've paid Dak Prescott $60 million this season. You've paid CeeDee Lamb all that money. You can't pay your quarterback $60 million because, by the way, anytime you do that, you are now all in on the season and then say, no, we're actually not going to pay our best player. It can't possibly work like that. So I don't know how it finishes. I, for a long time, thought that Micah would get paid and that he would stick with the Cowboys and that things would, kind of return to normal. There would always be that underlying, hey, he didn't want to pay me. Hey, Micah's tough to deal with, whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it would happen. But these reports coming out, if they're true, it is really, really, really discouraging if you're a Cowboys fan. And it makes me think that Micah Parsons truly might be playing somewhere else. Now, will it be week 1? Likely not. That's right around the corner. September 4th is their first game against the Eagles. But at some point early in the season, yeah, it's a real possibility and might even be a real likelihood.
Yeah, and I'm like you. There's no way it should have gone this far. And we've seen it in the past. We've seen the hesitation from the Cowboys, Jerry Jones, to pay his guys. He makes them wait when you could just simplify things. It's better to pay a player, I would say, a year early than a year later because in one off season, all it takes is a couple guys getting that big contract, and all of a sudden that $37 million contract is now up to $42 million, and that's why you reward your guys earlier. The holdout a couple of years ago with Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow, I was waiting for those guys to get their contracts done because you knew as soon as one of them signed for 52, the next guy was going to get 53 annually. TJ Watt gave them the number. And unless maybe Parsons' agent is like, well, he's 40 million, I want 47, then I could see maybe the hesitation. But I couldn't understand it being that high. Paid Dak Prescott, like Declan said, $60 million a year. He gave CeeDee Lamb the big contract, $136 million, 67 of which is guaranteed. Terrence Steele got paid. Trayvon Diggs got paid. This is just the next step.
Dude,
those guys are good, but Parsons is better.
And even if Micah Parsons comes to you as Jerry Jones and says, I want $47 million annually, you know what you say if you're Jerry Jones? Okay, sure.
Yes,
whatever
sir.
you want, Micah Parsons, because you're Micah Parsons. It's just so ridiculous. And he had it, and you just listed everyone he paid. And now it's the best player, and you want to finagle about that? What are we doing here? Trayvon Diggs, who I like, one good season, really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He got $100 million. So I would be beyond. What's a synonym for angry? Because I would be beyond that.
Flabbergasted?
I would be well, that's a little
surprised.
Yeah.
Shocked.
But whatever a good synonym for anger is that really encapsulates all the emotions, I would be beyond all of that if I was Mike Parsons.
Yeah. 26 years old. 52.5 sacks, coming off a year in which he had 12 sacks in just 13 games. A couple forced fumbles. He's been a very good player when it comes to getting those forced fumbles. And yeah, I don't get it. It makes no sense, and it's getting nasty. And every other team in the NFL should be making the phone call. How could you not be excited about the prospects of what it might cost you to get a CeeDee Lamb? Yeah, it's going to be steep. Sorry, Micah Parsons. But if if there's a chance of making it happen, I'd be all over it. I was listening to a Chargers podcast today, Declan. They were talking about it. It could be like 2 first-round picks, easy. I'm in. Tuli Tuipulotu, I'm in. Whatever it's going to take, that guy makes you so much better. Chris says enraged, incensed, says Bobby. One of those words suffice.
There were a lot of good options. I like it. Bobby was good with incensed. I like enraged as well, but there were a few you could have used there.
Rose Chris says, send him to my Texans. Oh, 100%. Like every team. Well, the Texans, that would be wild. Daniil Hunter, Will Anderson, and Micah Parsons.
Those three?
I feel like if you're Dallas and they did offer you that, you're like, well, I'm going to need one of those guys back instead, actually.
I mean, you're probably asking for Will Anderson, who you just also won't pay in 3 or 4 years, apparently.
Yeah, we'll get him for 2 more good years. And then when he wants to be paid deservedly so, we'll say, nah, don't think we're going to do that. But yeah, if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, I don't know. This just has to be same old story. And, we're outsiders, and we projected this to happen.
I was playing Madden career mode the other day, and I was negotiating with Deontay Johnson, whom I traded for. And I just had to be like, you know what? No, Declan. You got to pay him what he wants. You got to pay him all the money. You got to practice what you preach. And then so I gave Deontay that team-friendly deal.
Yeah?
Or no, player-friendly
Player-friendly deal?
It definitely wasn't team-friendly.
Is it tough to negotiate in those video games? Like, do you have to do guaranteed money or anything?
Oh, yeah.
Keep them happy.
Signing bonus. Big signing bonus.
I just think, like, every contract, give the guy the guaranteed money when it's a player like Parsons. Front load it so towards the end it goes down low. And then, if the player deserves it, renegotiate. If you don't like him, that makes it easier to get out of that contract. But load it up at the beginning.
And like the weirdest thing for me with all this is like Jerry desperately wants another Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You are infinitely closer to that Super Bowl with Micah Parsons on your team than without. So, like, what's the holdup?
And
you have $9 billion or something.
You know who's going to look a lot better on the field with Micah Parsons? That corner you gave $100 million to.
He did have 11 picks. Was it his rookie year or his second?
I think it was his second year. He did get beat a lot too, though.
Oh my god,
that's kind of the style, right?
He was beyond burnt toast. You remember how hard I was on him.
Yeah,
and rightfully so. But 11 picks, that's still tough to do.
Give up a touchdown, then you pick one off. Balance. We'll take a breaker. When we come back, Mark Spector is going to join us. We'll also talk some Oil Kings with Kevin Radomski later in this show here. But first, a Sports 1440 update with Declan Kruger, brought to you by 01 Hockeyology. Build your game all summer long with custom training and cutting-edge tech. Become unstoppable. Sign up now at 01.ca. That is ZERONE.ca.
Scores in the majors. The Nationals lead the Mets 9-3 in at the top of the ninth. Giants and Padres, same spot in the game. Padres leading that one 8-4. Coming up in about 15 minutes time here, we will get the Red Sox and Yankees, as well as the Astros and Orioles. And finals earlier today saw the Athletics over the Twins, Royals over the Rangers, Brewers over the Cubbies, and the Dodgers over the Rockies. In the Little League World Series, Santa Cruz Aruba beat Venezuela 3-1, and Nevada and South Carolina will throw their first pitch any moment here. PGA Tour Championship sees Russell Henley leading at 9 under. Scotty Scheffler 7 under, and the highest ranked Canadian is Nick Taylor at 3 under. That's good for a tie for 12th. In the CPKC Women's Open, we have a new leader on the day. Aki Iwa of Japan currently sits at 7 under, a 5-way tie for second at 5 under, including Aphrodite Dang of Canada. And Eagles wide receiver Johnny Wilson will undergo season-ending knee and ankle surgery. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update. Portions of this hour brought to you by Elks Nation, 2 weekly podcasts with Eddie Steele and myself, breaking down the green and gold, the most in-depth double football coverage on YouTube, anywhere you get your podcasts. Elks Nation.
Sports radio is back. The Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
So right now, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, and Josh Fenwick with you here. Gregor on vacation. He'll be back the week after next as we get you through the summer here on Sports 1440. And once he returns, man, NFL will be full swing. NHL counts will be right around the corner. NBA, Major League Baseball playoffs. The CFL will be in the stretch. It'll be a great time of the year. And yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Right now, I'll let you know that the show is brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. If you're going to make a deposit, use code word Gregor50. Get a $50 free bet with your deposit. User GameSense, GameSenseAB.ca. Right now, we'll get to the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. They specialize in underground infrastructure. They make life more enjoyable with running water and indoor plumbing. They're the grinders of the construction industry, GS Construction. We bring in Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet. Spec, how did the project go for you yesterday afternoon?
Go talk about grinding. I grinded through that thing. I think I started putting that desk together when the Blue Jays were playing at like 11 in the morning. I think I finished it and put the drawers in like at 8 at night. It's the longest shift I've ever worked.
And it's looking beautiful, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
World class. Yeah.
Sure. I did.
I wanted to ask you to start off today, Spec. A pretty cool story coming out of the golf world. A 15-year-old Aphrodite Dang. What a run. I mean, she's out there 15 years old. I can't even imagine. When I was 15, I was doing nothing like that. Shoots a 5 under 66 at the CPKC Women's Open. What did you think of that performance from someone so young? And I got to say, like, you combine her with 18-year-old Vanessa Mboko. I mean, we're getting some pretty outstanding performances from young Canadians.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a couple things there. I was watching, and I was really disappointed with the American coverage. I thought they gave that young girl no love and didn't show. I barely saw any of her shots. When I showed up, she was on about the 11th when I tuned in, and I watched for an hour and barely saw her. And at one point, they were talking about Nelly Corda, and our girl makes a par 3. She hits it within about 8 feet of the pin. And they didn't even acknowledge it. They just kept talking about Nelly Corda. So that's the first thing. Total American, introspective, only about us. Someone who's not from America doesn't matter. I hated that. I was very disappointed in the coverage. How many tournaments do you cover where a 15-year-old's in first place? Like, does that happen every day, Connor? Am I missing it?
No, you're not.
So I didn't like that one bit. Let's see how she does. Listen, it's the beauty of golf is you got to be good every day. And to her credit, she was really good today. And the challenge becomes you got to be good tomorrow. And then you got to be good the next day. And then the biggest day is on Sunday. So, God bless her. Let's hope she can keep this thing running. But there sure looks like there's some kind of player there at some point, whether it's this weekend or down the road. It's a good-looking golf player right there.
Yeah, and won some junior events. Like she knows what she's doing. Do you buy into the whole narrative of too young and dumb to realize the situation they're in?
No, I never buy into that. She's been in golf tournaments. She might be only 15, but she's been in golf tournaments and she knows what's going on. I don't buy the too dumb to realize thing. To me, that's always been an insult.
Yeah.
Give her credit. Give her credit. She knows what she's doing. She's in a tough tournament with the best players in the world, and she was the best one of them today. See what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow's tomorrow, but this is a career highlight for her. She did herself proud, and no, don't. I mean, I think like I say, I always feel like it's an insult to say, that person's so young and dumb, they don't know what they're doing. She knows what she's doing, and she did it anyway.
Seems to be a storyline in the playoffs. Whenever a young player has success, they don't even understand. Like maybe they do, but they've just done a really good job at being locked in and being ready to go when it's called upon. And I mentioned Victoria Mboko earlier on in the show, and she's going to be taking on Barbara Krejcikova, who's been as high as number 2 in the world at the U.S. Open. I'm really intrigued to see what Mboko does. Missed the Cincinnati Open, but carrying this over the momentum that she had from winning in Montreal.
And when is that? When does that begin? Thursday?
Her first game will be on Sunday. Her first match, sorry.
Oh, Sunday. Okay. Yeah, let's watch, man. Like, we're all in love with this kid now, and it's really fun when these young Canadians, in sports that Canadians were not used to having, really competing in. I'm not used to watching the U.S. Open with a purpose. I like the U.S. Open. It's obviously a high level of sport. I'll watch any sport at that level. But for, to be able to tune in to have one of your own going at it, absolutely. I'm all over it. Would I watch, keep an eye on this Canadian Open that it's going on right now? Normally, no. This weekend, yeah, absolutely, man. I want to see how this story ends for sure.
Some news out of the NHL today is we're joined by Mark Spector here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in. Frank Nazar signing with the Blackhawks, a big extension, 7 years, a former 13th overall pick by the team just back in 2022. But he's only appeared in 56 career games, Spec. But the Blackhawks getting ahead of it. 7-year contract, $46 million. I mean, I kind of like it because, you drafted him for a reason. You must love the progression, the direction that he's trending towards, and just get him locked up at what could be a team-friendly deal in just a couple of years.
It could be, right? It could be. They give the Blackhawks management credit. They see something in this kid. I'm just looking him up. He had in 53 games, he had 12 goals and 26 points. That's not a giant year, right? That's not something that makes me say he played 21 games in Rockford last year. So I'd say to you that this is a gamble for the Blackhawks. They look at Frank Nazar as a big part of what they're doing there. And when you're doing the full rebuild, like this isn't a soft rebuild. This isn't the Washington Capitals. This isn't the Calgary Flames trying not to rebuild. Chicago did the full meal deal, man. They are in a rebuild. And part of that is you got to find some gems that maybe you didn't get you didn't draft. I mean, they drafted him in the first round, 13th overall. So, they're expecting him to be good. And you got to identify these guys and get them under contract. Now, will we look back in 4 or 5 years and say, oh man, what a steal that was for the team? Or will we look back in 4 or 5 years and say, what's that kid doing making $6.5 million? Right?
What an agent he had.
What an agent he had. So I don't know the answer to it. Honestly, I don't. But if I'm him and I've taken security, right? It's like Leon Draisaitl in his first contract.
Totally.
He halfway through it, he was vastly underpaid, but he took the security, and good for him. I would, if it was my son, I'd probably tell him to do the same thing.
Absolutely. And I think the contract will come to an end around 28, 29 years old. So if he has a good career, he'll get another payday. So yeah, kind of a nice signing there. And I want to ask you about the Minnesota Wild. We're hearing reports out of Minnesota from Michael Russo that Marco Rossi contract could be coming in the next few days here. They've made significant process towards that. What do you think the number is going to look like for Rossi?
Oh, geez, that's a good question. What's the number going to look like for Rossi? I don't even really have a clue. Like, is he's in the, it's about term again. I don't think he's performed like a $7 million player. He hasn't in his career, in my opinion. But if we're signing a guy to a 6-year deal, we're projecting, right? That means you got to get, it's like Nazar. Nazar hasn't earned the money he's making now, but they're planning on him superseding that number. So what does Rossi make? Does he make 7? Does he make 7.5? What do you think?
I mean, he's kind of, found ways to put the puck in the back. And that's still a younger player. Had 24 goals last season. I mean, if that's the floor, then yeah, I think, we're probably going to see him get around there, maybe 7+. But well, I think probably coming in around there. I'm trying to think of comparables that we've seen as of late for a guy like that, 23 years old, a couple 20-goal seasons. I think he's going to get a nice little payday to stay in Minnesota and continue to grow with that core with a guy like Kirill Kaprizov.
Well, you can't, when you do draft a guy like Rossi, And there's another guy, 9th overall, right? So you draft him, you expect him to be good. You have him in your pay structure that he's going to make some money one day because he's going to be the player you thought he was when you drafted him. Then he comes out and he gets you 24 goals, 21 goals last season. You got to pay those guys, man. If you want to have a good team, you got to pay them. Every guy's not Draisaitl and McDavid. They're not all mega superstars, but Rossi's a nice player. And if you want to have a good team, you got to have 6 or 7 guys as good as Rossi, and you got to pay them. And that's the way it works. So, he's very small. You better have some guys on your team that are also good but big, because if you got a team full of Marco Rossi's, you're going nowhere at 5'9", 180. But you know what? I could certainly have 1 or 2 of those guys on my team, and in Minnesota, he's going to be one of them.
Yeah, and it is funny because, you search his name, and in the Google search, it's from one article, hey, they're making progress. The other article is circling back on trades. So, I mean, who knows? We really don't know until we actually get the official announcement for it, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting for the Minnesota Wild. Mark Spector joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. I want to turn my attention to the CFL, and tonight, this is crazy news for the Montreal Alouettes. 4th string quarterback when they take on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. James Morgan's going to get his first CFL start. That's brutal. I mean, we haven't seen a situation like that. A 4th string quarterback have to make a debut in a long time.
Well, so they're just getting a ton of injuries at the most important position.
Yeah.
And it'll be fun to watch. I think, if I know the Winnipeg defense at all, they're going to be just teeing off and blitzing like crazy and absolutely forcing this guy to think as fast as possible, which is what you want to force a rookie quarterback to do. And if he can overcome it, if he can scramble, if his offensive coordinator can give him the right tools to deal with a defense that's going to be all over him and coming in numbers, I guess he's got a shot. There's a reason he's your 4th-string quarterback, right? That's because you got 3 guys at least that are better than he is. So I wouldn't bet Montreal tonight, but I'll keep an eye on the game and see what happens.
It's funny we were talking about it, oh yeah, the Owls could do the Elks a favor if they can beat Winnipeg. That's pretty good for the playoff push in the West if they're gonna get there and win a few games of their own. And then you see that headline, 4th-string quarterback. Certainly won't be easy. Now, Spec, we did get a text coming in here from Phil. He said, hey, Spec, when I set up my divorced guy apartment, I assembled a couch, kitchen table, 4 chairs, and a coffee table in the same time it took you to put together one desk. You got to use one of those power screwdrivers IKEA sells at the checkout. So maybe next time you're doing that, that's what you have to look for.
I'll tell you what, there was those little booklets you get with these things, right? And it's got steps, however many steps there are. This one had 64 steps. So I don't know. I figured I was knocking off about 10 steps an hour.
Yeah. Now, and did you follow it step by step? Because I will confess, I'm like, oh yeah, I think I got it. I just jump steps. I'm not doing that kind of stuff.
No. Because if you put one thing upside down and then you get 20 steps later, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, where's the holes? Yeah. Oh man, I got to deconstruct this thing and turn that piece upside down again. So, no. Hey, listen, I'm working like a government worker. I'm not exactly. I had an eye on the Blue Jays game, then I turned on the Cubs game. I'm not exactly busting my hump here building this thing, but hey, man, I don't know. I guess the moral of the story is if a sports writer can put it together, how hard can it be?
And you don't have a deadline for that, right? So take your time.
No deadline, buddy.
It's
I wanted to make it last all day, so my wife wouldn't come up with something else for me to do.
Yeah, there's the truth. That's a veteran move from a long-time husband. Well, Spec, thanks for doing this today. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, Connor, take care, man. Have a great night.
You as well. There you go. Mark Spector, Rogers Sportsnet, joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show, as he does every day. Well, weekday, 5 o'clock. Man, that's a task. Declan, I mean, you're in a relationship. But I'm sure you've put together some of that IKEA furniture.
Oh, for sure.
That's I don't know. I really have to change my game plan when I go into it. Okay, this is slow down, read the book, do it properly, because I just want to cheat and just skip steps and get it done as quick as possible. But you have to be patient when you get into that.
Yeah, you really just got to go through it step by step. You know what I mean? You can't, no shortcuts here. Let's just figure it out. Let's just get it done. I don't know. You got to have the right tools as well.
You're right.
Not that IKEA furniture, there aren't too many tools you need, Like you might need a screwdriver, possibly a drill, but still, you gotta have, there's gotta be some stuff that you need to help you out.
The little tool they give you, which it's like, this is great,
cranker.
But when I'm trying to maneuver it into little places, and I don't have little baby hands, it's kind of tough. Chris says you can use a drill with a clutch and adjust the clutch when assembling IKEA furniture, so you don't don't strip the screws or put them in too deep. So
the worst part is like it's IKEA furniture, so it's supposed to be super easy.
Yeah.
And then when you're like low key struggling with it, that's when you feel a little like what's going on here.
You know what?
We should be flying through this.
If I wanted to emasculate somebody, I'd say, let me take over that IKEA furniture.
That what a pick that would have been.
Yeah. I don't know the scenario it would happen. Like Big Brother maybe at the house.
Let me come over and build your furniture. Can you imagine someone saying that to you? Oh, my goodness.
Let me do that for you. I liked your one about changing a tire.
Let me use your barbecue after.
Yeah, exactly. What else can I do? Mow your lawn for you as well. It's looking a little long on the edges. 5:19. We'll take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Edmonton Oil Kings, as Cam's going to be getting going shortly. They got a really good team this year. We're back in the playoffs last season, I think, ready to make a bit of an extended run. We will be joined by Kevin Radomski, Oil Kings Director of Business Ops. Talk about some of the things you can expect down at the rink this season. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, Facebook, YouTube, and X, brought to you by playalberta.ca.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
McDonald's Sundaes and snack-size shakes are $2, or get $1 cones exclusively on the McDonald's app. With those prices, your hands are going to be full of treats, like Alex here. My phone. I got you. App download and registration required. At participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 air conditioning install company for slushy lovers. Because while a slushy keeps you cool as an 80s song for a moment, AC from Legacy keeps you cold as ice all season long. A permanent full-body slushy sensation keeping you cold as ice with no payments and no interest for 1 year. Keeping you cool without the brain freeze. That's how you build a legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
There's something we need to talk about. Debt. It's an uncomfortable topic, but the truth is, most of us carry some form of debt, and we are ashamed to talk about it. My name is Parveen Middleton, a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. Every day, people struggling with debt come to me for a solution. When you make that call, I'll listen to your story without judgment and will lead you to a debt-free future. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to learn more.
Uh-oh, another sacrifice to the water hazard. Hey, we've all been there. At Colonial Golf Club, you'll find lush fairways, challenging greens, and just enough water hazards to keep things interesting. Whether you're a seasoned pro or a first-year player, Colonial Golf Club has a tee time for you. After, reward yourself with a post-game recap at Colonial Grill and Bar. In the hole! Colonial Golf Club, where even bad shots come with great views. Book your tee time now at colonial.ca.
This is a local backstory, a showcase of businesses we're proud to call our friends. Here's Anita from Coleman's Greenhouse.
Coleman's is open year-round. We're open 7 days a week. You know, we're not just a greenhouse. We're not just a market garden. We have a gift shop and we have a flower shop, and you can come and buy vegetables year-round. We always have houseplants and things available. So, you know, the main thing is that people know that we're there 7 days a week, year-round, and we offer lots for Edmontonians to come and shop for. The Anthony Hendy construction has really, I think, opened the city up to our greenhouses. People driving by can actually see the greenhouses, and they now, oh, that's where Coleman's is. And it's very easy access, you know, just taking Henday out to 153rd Avenue. And I think we have noticed a lot of customers coming from other areas of the city, which is really great.
Google Coleman's today. That's Kuhlmanns.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Enjoy a taste of Hawaii with Papa John's Aloha Trio. Try the classic Hawaiian, Super Hawaiian, or Hawaiian barbecue pizzas for only $19.99 each at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by playalberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, and Josh Fenwick with you. The Jason Gregor Show brought to you by playalberta.ca. Code word Gregor50. Get a $50 free play with your deposit. Make sure to use your GameSense. GameSenseAB.ca. Keep your text rolling in here. 1-833-401-1440. Shout out to everyone watching on Oilers Nation X, Facebook, and YouTube. Hit that like button. We are going to talk a little bit more about TV show theme songs because that was quite the hit. We got lots of text to get to later on in this show. But right now, we'll get to the Oil Report brought to you by Volvo Cars Edmonton. Discovery Day sales on now. You can lease a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $7,500. Great vehicles, better service, only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com. Right now, we're going to talk about those Edmonton Oil Kings because the preseason, September 4th, 5th, like it gets going really quickly here. And Kevin Radomski from the Oil Kings going to come on, talk a little bit about what you can expect down at the rink this season. Kevin, how are you doing today?
Good. Thanks for having me on. Really excited to talk to you.
Yeah, we're really thrilled to have you on because, as I mentioned, the Edmonton Oil Kings season going to get going shortly here. And I think there's a lot of excitement on and off the ice. The things the team does every single year is a lot of fun. You're going to have the wrestling back down there again, teddy bear toss. And then, this past season, you guys on the ice got back into the playoffs. And then a change at head coach. So lots of things to get into. But I want to ask you, what's it like having a guy like Jason Smith behind the bench with what he's done playing in the NHL? He's been a coach at multiple levels, with all due respect to the previous regime. But Jason Smith coming in here, he's got to have a bit of a momentum changer here with what he brings to the organization.
There's no question. And, when we announced Jason Smith as our head coach, you could see that the media had assembled inside the Hall of Fame room inside Rogers Place. And I actually had the privilege of introducing Jason as our head coach. And I could hear the audible reaction from the members of media in attendance. And there's nothing like it to have a gentleman that captained a franchise like the Edmonton Oilers that took them to Game 7 in 2006. And I can tell you, he is the most down-to-earth, hardest working, let me get to know you kind of guy. And we could not be more excited to have Jason Smith as our head coach. What an honor and what a great job from Kurt Hill, our president general manager, for bringing in a guy with the credibility and the credo like Jason Smith has.
Yeah, and you know what? For a guy who as intense as he was off or on the ice in his playing days and the physicality, I've heard really good things. Like a guy who's just very calm, cool, collected. Treats the players obviously with respect, and to have a guy who did what he did at the NHL when he speaks as a young player, you have to listen.
There's no question. And especially, again, I'll boast about the embarrassment of riches that we have in the coaching position, starting from Jason Smith as our head coach. Then you take a look at a guy like Kyle Chipchura as our assistant coach, and Chipper played in the NHL as well. Devin Pratt, former coach in the Western Hockey League. Our skills coach, Ladislav Smeed, former Edmonton Oiler defenseman as well. And it's just, if I'm a young player trying to hone my craft at whatever position, to have these gentlemen be able to talk to me that have achieved the highest levels of being a professional athlete to help our 15, 16, 17, 20-year-olds develop is second to none. We're very, very, very proud of the coaching regime that we have.
Now, obviously, we know that the WHL is a developmental league and players move on every single year. But who are some returning players fans can get excited for?
Well, you got to start with the gentleman who was just selected in the second round of the NHL draft, going 36th overall. Defenseman from Texas, Blake Fiddler. Blake had a great year last year, and of course we're looking for big things from him. Ethan McKenzie from Peachland, BC, another returning player that's going to have a great year. And of course it's all led by our captain from Winnipeg, Gavin Hodnett. And of course we have Jerome McGinley's son, Joe Iginla, on the team, right? Little Joe is entering his second full season in the WHL. And the growth and development, one of the things that you get to see at the Western Hockey League level is you get to watch them put the pieces together. And I'll tell your listeners this, Tristan Jarry was in our dressing room this morning. And just to be able I remember Tristan Jarry as a 16-year-old. He's a 30-year-old man now that's married with a beautiful son. And the nicest thing about junior hockey is when you're coming for the hockey, you get to see tomorrow's superstars today. And if you're coming for the entertainment and the value, there's nothing better than junior hockey.
Totally agree. I've got some family coming over from Australia in the winter. I'm saying we're going out to an Oil Kings game. That's something we have to go out and see because you just can't beat the value that you're going to get for this. Now, I got to ask you got a chance to catch up with Tristan Jarry. How about Curtis Lazar? Are you excited to see him again in the building?
There's no question. You know, what's so funny is again, like I remember Curtis Lazar as a 17-year-old and just being a player on the Edmonton Oil Kings. And of course, you keep up with him on his different stops. I remember eating cheeseburgers in Ottawa off the ice and having a great time. And then to hear that he's part of our hometown team in the NHL with the Edmonton Oilers, he is more excited than I am. And I'm just ecstatic. Like, I can't wait to see Curtis Lazar. And I'll give your fans an exclusive, the listeners, I'll give you guys an exclusive drop. We're going to be doing something that incorporates Curtis Lazar for our home opener on Saturday, September the 20th. We're going to be announcing it in a couple of weeks, but your fans can rest assured you've heard it here first. Curtis Lazar is going to be part of our opening night on September the 20th.
That's a good one. I got a chance working on the old broadcast with Corey Graham and Guy Flaming and Kent Simpson back in the day to watch what Curtis Lazar did with the Oil Kings, and he was just a dynamic player. So I'm looking forward to that one selfishly. Kevin Radomski joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in. Kevin, of course, the Oil Kings Director of Business Operations. So we kind of touched on it beforehand. I know the Oil Kings do such a good job of keeping us entertained, off the ice. There's always something going on. You got the home opener on the 20th of September, the Thanksgiving food drive, and then on December 7th, the Teddy Bear Toss, one of the most fun games of the year.
Honestly, if you've never been to an Oil King game, I'm going to challenge you. I don't know what you're waiting for. Tons of fun, like you said. But if you've heard of us and maybe you haven't been to a game, chances are you've heard of the Teddy Bear Toss. And if you haven't been, I can promise you any video, any photo does not do it justice. On December the 7th, Sunday, December 7th, when we score our first goal of the game, everyone in attendance gets an opportunity to throw stuffed animals on the ice. And last year we collected 15,500 stuffed animals raining down from every seat in Rogers Place. We had 17,200 fans for a junior hockey game last year. So, of course, our natural is, how do we sell it out? We want to make sure that we have 18,100 fans in the building on Sunday, December 7th. And we want to have more stuffed animals because that goes right to Santa's Anonymous, who helps families that are in need at Christmas time. And no one should be without something under the tree at Christmas. I think we can all agree to that.
Oh, absolutely. Now, I do have to ask you because I had mentioned my sister, brother-in-law, and their 3 children coming to visit us around that time, around Christmas. And I noticed Dino Day. My nephews love dinosaurs. So December 28th, what can we expect for Dino Day?
You know what? We had a ton of fun with it last year. We did it for the first time last year. We had inflatable dinosaurs roaming the concourse, and those oversized, Tyrannosaurus Rexes with no arms. I can tell you one of the things that we did last year that didn't really work is on Dino Night, we tried to have the dinosaurs drop the puck like the Tyrannosaurus Rex. So, of course, I'm mimicking it for radio right now with my arms like retracted inside. It didn't work very well. So we're going to do it again, but we're going to do it differently. And I can tell you, fans, again, it's so much fun. You're going to be down at Rogers Place on Sunday, December 28th. You've already done all of your festivities and all the stuff that goes with the season. Come down to Rogers Place. We're going to have dozens of inflatable dinosaurs roaming the concourse and turning it into a prehistoric bash. It is so much fun. We can't wait.
Kevin, junior hockey, you've seen a lot of promotions. Do you have maybe one we're not doing this year, but one from the past that you really enjoyed?
You know what's funny is for the last couple of years, we're not doing it this year, but for the last couple of years, we had an Elvis impersonator come in and look the part, sang the part, and it was Elvis night. And people said, like, why Elvis? And it's like, well, he's a legend. Like, why not Elvis? But, like, honestly, every one of the promotions that we do, if we do them again, we're saying to ourselves, how do we make it better? How do we make it more engaging? And I can tell you, like, we've had nights where we've worn jerseys that were inspired by SpongeBob SquarePants, that were inspired by the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Paw Patrol. We're going to do another one of those type of themed jerseys on the Family Day game in February on the 16th. We're going to have a theme that I promise your listeners You're going to know it, you're going to love it, and you're going to be all about it.
I'm looking forward to it. Kevin Radomski joining us here on the Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in, Oil Kings Director of Business Operations. And I think one we do have to kind of highlight here, because last year we saw Eddie Steele from the Kevin Carius Show get into the ring. It's going to be January 25th, an afternoon of wrestling. Is Eddie back in? Have we heard any confirmation there?
Well, I think you kind of glazed over it. I'm sure he asked you to do this, but let's not forget that Kevin Carius left the country. Okay, Kevin Carius timed his trip to Mexico so that he wouldn't get called into the ring. And Eddie Steele, he heard the bell, he heard the calling, he jumped in the ring. I'm telling you, if you've not met Eddie Steele in person, he's intimidating. He got in that ring, and if you hadn't been, we've done it for a couple of years now. This is our third year partnering with Love Pro Wrestling. The Oil Rumble, as it's anointed, in January on the 25th. You're going to walk in as soon as we open the doors. The men and women from LPW are going to be in the ring, flying off the ropes, clotheslines, suplexes, and then we come out, we do the warm-up, and then you got pucks flying everywhere. As soon as the warm-up's done, right back to the matches. And I know some other junior hockey teams do wrestling at the end of the game. So you watch 3 periods of hockey, and then you got to watch them build the ring. We said, no. We actually built the ring right by the Zamboni entrance. You don't miss a second. You get 3 periods of hockey. You'll get 6 matches from LPW. Championships will be decided. You get wrestling and hockey, and the seats start at $20 for both.
I remember last year was a 14:40 game. So we got right in there. We were going live on Instagram. It was great entertainment. The heels getting into it with the fans as it was going on. It was absolutely awesome. And my last question for you, because I know you've talked about this in the past kind of with Carius, and yeah, he asked me not to bring up what happened last year. I don't know if he saw the schedule, so maybe he'll be booking that vacation to Mexico once again. But
I'm sure he's frantically doing it right now. Guaranteed panic. Yeah.
Looking for a good deal, of course. The kids menu, is that going to be coming back? Because I will confess, I might have dabbled in that a little bit.
So first thing, you don't need to be a kid to order off the kids menu. I did that just for Kevin Carius, to be honest. The value engineer, Kevin Carius. But no, we did it a couple seasons ago where we really challenged ourselves and we said, our seats at Rogers Place for our Oil Kings hockey start at $20. How do we bring the value beyond just the ticket? And so what we did is we launched a kids food combo, and it's the food that kids want to eat. Cheeseburgers and a pop and a popcorn type of thing. And they start at $7.50. They're all $10 or less. And then last year, we introduced Wiener Wednesday. So for every Wednesday game, didn't matter that New Year's Day last year was on a Wednesday, doesn't matter. If we're playing on a Wednesday, $2 hot dogs all night long. Not just for the first hour when you enter. If you come in right when the doors open, so right to the end of the second intermission, $2 hot dogs every Wednesday, that's coming back as well.
Oh, I am looking forward to it. And you can't beat the bang for the buck. The season opener is going to be in September. You got preseason games. I think kicking off in Hinton. Is that correct?
That's correct. We actually started a couple of years ago where we go to these remote communities in Alberta. And so, we actually are playing 2 games against the Prince George Cougars on Friday, September the 5th and Sunday, September 7th in Hinton. The following week on September the 14th, we're in Westlock, Alberta. And I can tell you that Westlock is already sold out.
Oh, really?
650 seats sold out. And we started doing this where we wanted to go into these communities that don't get to see Western Hockey League action as a fundraiser for the minor hockey board. And really what it became is more of a community event, like a community building event, as well as raising great funds for minor hockey. We were in Grand Cache 2 years ago. They raised $30,000 for minor hockey that weekend. So we can't wait to go to Hinton this year and Westlock. Last year we were in Edson and in Morinville. So yeah, it's the thrill of getting that junior hockey out into the community and really engaging with great communities that we don't get to see all the time.
Oh, that's awesome, Kevin. We do appreciate joining us here on the show to discuss the season, and we'll definitely have you on again, getting us hyped up for all these games you coming up. And again, we'll talk to Kevin, see if we can get him out in the ring later on in the year.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if Kevin Carius has got another schedule issue when LPW, the afternoon of wrestling on January 25th, you heard it here first. There's no scheduling issue. It's pure fear on his behalf.
Oh,
but I really appreciate the support. That's fantastic.
Great. Thanks, Kevin. Have a good day.
You too.
There you go. Kevin Radomski, Oil Kings Director of Business Operations. And yeah, the team, we touched on it at the beginning there. I think this is going to be a competitive group. Jason Smith there, who's got coaching experience. So, man, if you're an opposing coach and they get into a shouting match and he gives you that little look, that snarl, I'd be intimidated. He one of the toughest guys to ever do it in the NHL. That is for sure. That was the Oil Report, brought to you by Volvo Cars Edmonton. Check them out online at volvocarsedmonton.com. Declan, when we go out to the 1440 night that I hope they have once again, kids menu, you down for that? A little chicken nuggets or something?
Yeah, 100%.
I remember last game, I think I had a Mountain Dew. It was unbelievable.
That is a kid's dream meal. Mountain Dew and chicken nuggets. Like, what are we? Come on, you can't beat that, even as an adult.
What kind of sauce are you going with?
I'm pretty Kaz sweet and sour type of guy.
Yeah,
I don't break the mold too much. Although I don't mind a honey mustard sauce every now and then.
You know, those are old reliables.
Yeah,
they don't do you wrong when you go with those ones. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, and Josh Fenwick with you here. The Gregor Show brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. We did have a text come in here from Philly talking about IKEA furniture. He says, it's like Lego. If you mess up halfway through, you pretty much have to take it all apart and start over. See, I was never a Lego guy. Never really got into it. Maybe shows why I'm not good at IKEA furniture. I don't have that construction skill background, but I get it. I used to just throw Lego and just make stupid towers. That was the complexity of me. Like when I see down at the Lego store, like the Millennium Falcon and things like that, always impressed by it. But yeah, Lego, it wasn't for me. Maybe we'll see. Maybe in the next 3-4 years, I start to get into it due to my circumstances. We'll take a break here. When we come back, more text 1-833-401-1440. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. Also streaming Oilers Nation Facebook, YouTube, and X. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
The 8th annual Oilers Nation Open tees off Friday, August 29th at 9 a.m. A Texas scramble with fellow golfers, sports fans, and maybe even a few local personalities. Great shots, cold drinks, and a great cause. Gregor's Grads. Sign up at nationgear.ca.
McDonald's sundaes and snack-size shakes are $2, or get $1 cones exclusively on the McDonald's app. With those prices, your hands are going to be full of treats. Like Alex here. My phone. I got you. App download and registration required. At participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
The ATB Classic is returning to Northern Bear Golf Club.
An international field of professionals will battle it out on their path towards the PGA Tour.
Advance tickets are $20, or upgrade your access to sit greenside in the Sports 1440 Birdie Bar. Presented by Sleeman.
Net proceeds go to Youth on Course to give kids age 6 to 18 access to play golf for just $5.
Come see the future stars of the PGA Tour.
The ATB Classic.
September 11th to 14th.
Get your tickets at atbclassic.com.
Will Johnson, whoa. We're proud to be local and family owned. Downtown experience to speak for the day. With Johnson, whoa. Striving to bring you a comfortable home. With Johnson, whoa.
Listen to over 500 radio stations from anywhere in Canada with Radio Player Canada, the must-have app that's as Canadian as you are. Friendly, ready to party, great company. Enjoy every type of radio station, anywhere, anytime. Listen through your phone, Sonos, Google Chromecast, Google Home, Amazon Echo, Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto. Download the Radio Player Canada app today. It's where Canadian radio plays.
It's the Bricks mattress sale of your dreams. Score dreamy deals like up to 40% off mattresses and queen beds starting at just $269. Get select king mattresses for the price of a queen and select queen mattresses for the price of a twin. Plus, queen platform bases starting at just $299. Score 20% off metal bed frames when you buy any mattress and get free local delivery when you buy any mattress on your Flexity card. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for detail. The Brick, saving you more.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 EEE. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Looking for a new home without the wait? Jandel Homes has stylish homes available for immediate delivery with modern finishes, smart layouts, and all the design details you love. Your new home can be on site and ready before you know it. Whether you're starting fresh or ready for an upgrade, we have options built for your lifestyle. Jandel Homes, where quality meets convenience. Start your next chapter with a move-in ready home from Jandel Homes. Learn more at jandelhomes.com.
The ATV Classic is returning to Northern Bear Golf Club.
An international field of professionals will battle it out on their path towards the PGA Tour.
Advance tickets are $20 or upgrade your access to sit greenside in the Sports 1440 Birdie Bar. Presented by Sleeman.
Net proceeds go to Youth on Course to give kids age 6 to 18 access to play golf for just $5.
Come see the future stars of the PGA Tour.
The ATV Classic.
September 11th to 14th.
Get your tickets at atvclassic.com.
I wish.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantor. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.545, welcome back to the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, and Josh Fenwick with you here. Jason Gregor Show brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Tonight, it is the Thursday Daily Grand up for grabs. If you win, $100 a day for the next 20 years, $7.3 million. PlayAlberta.ca, use your game sense. 1-833-401-1440. That is the text line. If you missed anything on the show today, make sure you go check our podcast wherever you get your podcast from. Really fun show. We had Zach Lang on the show, David Owens, Wanye Gretz, Matt Taylor, the voice of the Indianapolis Colts, was by, Colin Livingston, Terry Ryan, Speck, Kevin Radomski from the Oil Kings. So lots of things we covered on the show. Check it out. Google, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast from, or check out the Oilers Nation websites, Facebook or YouTube. You can go watch them there, stream them all over again. Declan, you want to get to the Declan report? Pending sponsor.
Read the sponsor line. Read the liner for this one.
Yeah, it's a big sponsor. Well, here's the thing. I wanted to bring this up again because we talked about it yesterday, the Jake Paul, Tank Davis fight. And you kind of listed off the sizes, the difference. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's pretty big. And then you see it written down. As I was scrolling through social media yesterday, 6'1" to 5'5".
Yep.
Jake Paul, essentially 200 pounds.
Yep.
Davis, 133. The reach, huge difference. Tank Davis, I commend him for doing this. How much weight can he put on? And how much does it matter? Because if he gets too big, will it slow him down?
Well, so the thing about him being a lightweight, which is the 135-pound division, like he's walking around probably at 155 to 160. He's not weighing that low regularly. And for an exhibition match, he's not going to cut weight for it, I would assume. He would come around closer to his walk-in weight for sure. You would lose a little bit naturally training. I don't know, but the problem is like his frame just listen, if he gets up to 200 pounds, he's just going to be a fat little balloon. Like you can't, you know what I mean? Like you can't put on, and the fight's in November. Like you can't, your frame just restricts you to a degree. Like you can put on some, but you're not getting anywhere up to 200. You're also not growing 8 inches. Like you're really going to come in kind of as you are. And that's why it's going to be under exhibition rules. Cause there's just no way they could match a weight class for professional sanctioning.
When you're 5'5", 135 to 150 pounds as an athlete, there's not much you can do. Boxer, jockey, Messi's pretty short as well.
5'7", yeah.
Like he's not a giant.
Muggsy Bogues.
You know, maybe I shouldn't be like this. Was it Gerby? that his name? Played in the NHL, was a very small guy. But to get into boxing, obviously an interesting career choice. Now, I mean, I'm intrigued by this one. What if you, I think you were a tactician when you fought. What's the game plan? Are you trying to get inside? Like,
well, you're definitely trying. That's
minimize the reach.
That's excellent, Connor. You know ball. You're absolutely trying to get inside because you can't. So what you want to do as the taller, rangier fighters, you want everything to be straight punches. Because if you're trading straight punches, you and your opponent, you have the reach advantage. You would be landing and your opponent would not because they don't have the reach. So as the shorter fighter, you want to get inside. You want to be able to get in situations where you are in tight and you're working the body. You're going to be wanting to throw a lot of uppercuts. Now he's restricted by height in that situation as well. But the game plan certainly is get outside. The other thing is he's going to be the faster fighter. So you're going to want to touch him to the body and get off of angles. You're going to, when he tries to cut off the ring, not that Jake Paul really knows how to cut off the ring, but when he tries to do that, you're going to be on your bicycle moving laterally pretty quickly. Like those are the things you would have to do. But yeah, a lot of working inside, which is always a little bit tough with a bigger guy because when you're working in close quarters like that, there's generally a higher connect percentage, and that bigger guy generally has bigger power, so he's going to hurt you. But that's what you got to do because you don't have the range, you don't have the length, and you're going to touch that body and you're going to move out of the way. You're going to circle out quick.
Now, this is going to be taking part, happening Friday, November 14th, State Farm Arena, home of the Atlanta Hawks on Netflix. So another chance for Netflix to kind of redeem themselves. And I'm sure this, Declan, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think this will have the pull that a Mike Tyson fight will have, but a good chance for them to bounce back and hopefully have a nice crisp stream. A text coming in here from Ronnie said, guys, also never was a Lego guy myself. Never understood why my little dudes like it so much. Yeah, I mean, like for my guy right now, he would just eat it. So obviously we can't have Lego. Maybe what's the big version called? Blocko?
I think is it
Duplo?
I think it's is it not Mega Blocks?
Mega Blocks, that might be the one. Yeah. Maybe we'll get him on that. Right now, I just lay beside him with a little ball and I throw it in the air, straight up, straight down, and he just giggles.
Does he have toys?
Oh yeah, lots of toys. But I want to teach him how to high point a ball.
Well, that's obviously day one stuff. But does he have toys that he's like kind of knows and plays with and are his favorite, or are they just kind of things you lay around and he'll like touch them and move them and stuff?
He certainly has his favorites.
Okay.
Yeah. We got a little toy bear. His name is Scout.
Aww.
And it talks to him. You got to like input his name into the system and his favorite color and animal and food. So this toy bear will sing him songs and tell him how his favorite food is chicken nuggets and things like that. It's a little weird, but every time we show it to him, he just smiles and giggles away. So he's super stoked by it. I don't know. He's got some rattles and stuff. Very simple kid. Just likes to play with things, whatever he can get his hand on. We got him a little fake DJ booth actually as well, which he, just punches. We'll upgrade him when he gets a little bit older. CFL Week 12 officially is underway right now. Bombers and Montreal Alouettes going at it in Montreal. Al's fourth string quarterback. Bombers leading that one 3-0. Hopefully the entertainment continues in the CFL because the last little while has been very good. The Elks and Red Blacks tomorrow, 5:30 out in our nation's capital. Then on Saturday, doubleheader. First game, we'll see. BC and Toronto taking on the Argos. But 5 o'clock, marquee matchup, I would say. The Stamps and Rough Riders, 8-1 Rough Riders in Calgary. That one gets going at 5 o'clock. So should be a good weekend in the CFL. And Declan, is it next week college football underway officially?
Starts this weekend, my brother.
This weekend, we got some games.
We got a top 25 matchup out in Ireland this Saturday at 10 a.m. Iowa State and Kansas State.
That'll be fun.
I really like Kansas State to win the Big 12 this year. Iowa State, I don't know. At this point in other summers, I would have been more into the 22nd ranked team in the nation. I'm not as invested in Iowa State this year, even though the Big 12 is going to be a gauntlet of a battle. It always is. Like it's always just 8 or 9 teams that could win the league.
So we also got Idaho State, UNLV.
Banger.
Fresno, Kansas.
Banger. That's actually, I'm going to watch that game. I think that game's at 2, right?
4:30.
Okay.
So a little bit later. No. The Western Kentucky Hilltoppers against Ham Houston at 5.
Hey, they're a lot of fun, man. That Conference USA, that is a fun conference. 2
schools who have had really good teams in the past, Boise State and South Florida. Was it Central Florida? It was South Florida, right?
Well, UCF
Oh,
was the
Central
team that
Florida.
went 12-0 and tried to claim a natty, kind of. But USF, because Scott Frost is back now, they did well with him.
Mm-hmm. And then Stanford, Hawaii, a 5:30 game. That grinds my gears. That they should start that game at 7:00 Hawaii time, and then I could watch it at like 11:00 Mountain time. But I digress. Stanford, Hawaii. It's going to be a lot of fun, Declan. This is what you've been waiting for. Are you just going to hunker down on the couch all day and watch ball?
Well, I'm definitely, no questions asked, going to be watching the Kansas State Iowa State game. I think I might have plans for the rest of the afternoon, but yeah. I mean, listen, college football, once it's here, don't even think about talking to me on Saturdays.
Bunch of other games going to be happening as well. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Lots of really good football. And then it gets going on the Thursday after that. So yeah, we'll be hopefully getting some college football guests coming up shortly here on the Jason Gregor Show. Keep you guys up to date on what's going on with that. Again, thank you guys for tuning into the show. It does mean a lot. If you missed it, go check out the podcast, Apple, Google, Spotify, wherever you get them from. It was a really fun show today. Talked a lot about TV show theme songs as well. People were liking that topic. So make sure you go give it a listen or a view on Oilers Nation Facebook, YouTube, or X. And if you could do so, hit that like button. For Declan Kruger, Wanye Gretz, and Josh Fenwick, I'm Connor Halley. We'll be back to do it all again tomorrow on the show. We'll be joined by Lorianne Munzer. We'll have Spec, Low Tide, and continue our look around the NFL and get you ready for Elks and Red Blacks. That music means we got to get to a Sports 1440 update with Declan Kruger, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. They are hiring HVAC installers and plumbers. Starting bonuses to the right candidates, strong benefits, RRSP matching, tuition reimbursement. Apply today at legacyheating.ca. Good night.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
CFL action. Winnipeg currently leading Montreal 3-0 with 5:30 to go in the first quarter. Montreal driving currently right now. In the MLB, three games on. Red Sox and Yankees tied 1-1 in the bottom of the second. Astros lead the Orioles 4-1 at the same mark, and the Cardinals trail the Rays 1-0. Finals from earlier include the Brewers over the Cubbies, Royals over the Rangers, Athletics over the Twins, and the Dodgers over the Rockies. In the Little League World Series right now, Nevada leads South Carolina 2-1. And in the Core Championship, through 1, it is Russell Henley atop the leaderboard at 9 under, Scotty Scheffler at 7 under. Nick Taylor, highest ranked Canadian in the field, at 3 under. And in the CPKC Women's Open, Aki Iwa is leading at 7 under. Five-way tie for second at 5 under, including Aphrodite Dang, the Canadian. Other news around the sporting world, as the Chicago Blackhawks have signed Frank Nazar to a 7-year contract extension with $46 million. 21-year-old center has played just 56 career games. Derrick Rose has had his jersey retirement night set for January 24th, and the SEC will play a 9-game conference schedule starting in 2026. That's going to do it for us here. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been Sports 1440 Update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station, broadcasting on Treaty 6